Hey y'all. Voice is coming through. Thanks for being here. Much appreciated. We are going to do the all black round table in just a second. So that'll be great. Hope you're having a good day. Thank you, Dom Champ Blue. Hey man. Hope you're doing well. Alright, let's see if we can get this done. Okay, we got a few people around. Not many. Oh my god, we don't have many people. Okay. Alright, on. Most are late. Most are late. Most are late. Alright, well. Unsurprising. Yeah, sure. I don't know. Okay. Um. Uh, um. Okay. Sorry. I'm just trying to think of what to do while we wait. We'll read some articles while we wait because. All right. Let's see. All right. All right. House Joe Senate delays holiday recess work on immigration bill. U.S. urges Israel to end large-scale ground war, move to more targeted phase. Israel. Israel officials deny support that war cabinet blocked Mossad chief from resuming talks to free hostages. Interesting. Sorry, I'm just like looking through articles. I'm really annoyed right now. Bullet train. Here shows bull running on wild New Jersey transit tracks. Oh yeah, I heard about this. So, on the subway, for New Jersey, there's like it's a bull. Looks like a longhorn. I don't know, like a steer, I guess. I don't know. I'm not gonna pretend like I know the difference. I'll be lying to you. But like it was just on like the subway tracks. It was just wandered around, big chilling. It was really unfortunate. Yeah, apparently this caused massive delays, obviously, while they tried to get that under control. Alright, Christmas wishes may need a miracle with widespread warmth expected. Like, global warming is a bad thing. It's a very bad thing. Super bad thing. Right? Not in favor of global warming, however. Because of that, like my area has just like not seen snowfall in years. I think on Christmas. Yeah, fuck. It's been a while since snow has fallen on the ground for in my area. So like I'm actually pretty stoked about this because I gotta shovel it. And I don't like shoveling snow. Snow is actually a big pain in the ass, and the less of it, the better. I mean, snow is good for like, especially if your water source comes from like a mountain, because that's where that water comes from, right? Like snowfall comes and then it melts and then it goes into some reservoir and that's how you get your drinking water. That's like out west. That's what's happening. Not happening in California right now, which is why they're having a drought. But so that sucks for them. And I wish we could have some snowfall way the fuck over there. But nowhere near me. Nowhere near me. Thanks. I'd much appreciate that if. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's see. We got some more people around. Let's see if we can get started.
I wish I could figure out how to make my music fade out, like instead of just abrupt stop.
There we go. All right, there we go. There we go. There we go.
Oh my God, whatever that is, no.
My mic not working?
Nah,
It
bro,
is
it's going
working,
crazy.
but it's like,
Oh my God.
it's giving the feedback.
Uh,
That feedback buzz.
Crystal Clear, thank you for 29 months. Hey, hope you're doing well. Clearly Crystal Clear. Clearly Crystal. Yeah. I keep getting it wrong. But thank you so much for coming through and being a supporter of this community. You're really kind. I hope you're doing well out there in Hawaii, which also is free from snow. And you should be thankful for it. Not free from lava, you know. Might be a little bit worse. I don't know. But free from snow.
So, like City Girls, I guess like two girls from Miami trying to randomly jump into the music game. And it's also like, God, it's just quality TV. Like she knows what she's doing. Y'all should watch.
We'll see. Well, am I alone hearing that?
All right, this is great entertainment. Bam, save me.
We live, baby.
Is anyone else hearing that weird buzzing?
No.
I don't hear anything.
That might be just my headphone then.
Is this okay?
Yeah, you sound way better.
Yeah, you sound good. Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah,
was about
I
to
don't
say-
know what that was before.
No, I've been practicing singing for like an hour, and my mic is kind of feeling. I've definitely been wearing this mic the fuck out, so the settings are all wacky.
Okay, so you getting into your Drake bag. You're gonna get sing-songy.
I've been singing since a kid. I just grew up around niggas where I had to hide that talent.
Sorry, you're trying to say something, Mooncake? We can't hear you. You might be using the wrong mic again. I don't know.
Probably.
Okay, 1 second. Let me try this again.
But so I usually do post movie reviews, which I guess this is gonna be like it will be a post movie review after I watch it. But I think my next movie, which is not even a theater thing, I think I want to see Heist 88. Anybody heard about this?
Okay.
Heist 88? No.
Yeah.
Hold on 1 second. Mooncake, you trying to speak?
Sorry, does this sound better?
Much better.
No.
Much better.
Yeah.
Yes, okay, sounds much better.
Y'all gonna lie? You
Wait a minute,
sound
it sounded. I'm not even joking there. Wait, say something else.
It sounds crispy.
Yeah, say something, Mooncake.
Does it sound
Is that-
okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi.
Okay, now it sounds.
Okay,
yeah,
I don't know what it was
it's
before.
good.
My bad.
Yeah,
It sounded
okay.
like he was frying chicken.
Sorry. Go ahead, guys.
Okay.
But yeah, Heist 88. It's supposed to be a true story based off of a black like criminal mastermind who ended up pulling off one of the like biggest bank robberies of all time, basically, of like $80 million back in the 80s. And it's supposed to. I ain't seen it, but I heard it's got like a Ocean's 11 vibe to it, but like real and with black people. So I'm like, that sounds all the way up my alley.
Where did they steal this $80 million? What city was this in?
I think he actually used like it was an inside job. I think he used bank employees. But
okay.
I don't know what state. Let's see.
Fun.
Trying to fucking cut down on the goddamn. My mic is so fuckity. L audio engineer.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to look. And I kind of want, like, I want to do a dive into the like true story, but I also want to see the movie first. So, like, I feel like I could spoil myself with truth.
I don't know. I think when you look at the true story, it doesn't really affect the movie because there's always a bit of like artistic liberties that are taken, right? Like you can watch the true story and the movie could be two completely different things damn near, but it doesn't make it not a good movie. Doesn't make it not a cool story.
Oh, look like it's your city.
Ah, that makes sense. In the 80s, I can believe it.
Like, is you eating spaghetti?
It's not real if your mom didn't make it.
Yeah, I am. hmm
Okay, do you think? Ain't mad at you.
I'm just listening to you guys at the moment.
Hmm.
That's fair.
What else is going on? I watched the new episode of JJK. It was cool, but also like it left off at a weird part.
Sorry.
I
Oh
need
no.
to
Hold
catch- I
on.
need
Hold
to
on.
catch
Hold on.
back
Hold on. First of all, Bass, do me a favor. I just need you to do me one favor. All right. Okay. I'm gonna need you to call our friend Bam here soft again. Do that. Do that for me. Just call him soft.
Bam is soft.
Thank you.
Was there another anime he couldn't watch?
Yeah, he was in tears over this last week. So you, what happened? What was said about the female character that you were crying about last week? What
female.
happened in this latest episode?
You
Could you tell me?
I don't know, bro.
Could you tell me, Bam?
In JJK, there was no females.
Yeah, there was. Did you see the latest episode? Yeah, actually, they talked about the female character that you were bitching and moaning about last week.
I'm pretty
Now-
sure you're a week behind.
No,
sorry.
I'm not.
Think you are.
Oh, sorry. If
You're
you, I'm saying the discussion we had last week. But
Yeah.
but you were bitching and moaning last week about that female character. What happened?
Well, no, it wasn't about that female character. It was about all characters.
Yeah,
Like
it
I said.
was all characters. It was pretty sad.
Yeah, I'm
they
not even
go
saying
through
it's
some
sad.
hell.
I'm just like I'm saying that like you could have threw in like there should have been another arc in between to attach me to the characters. More like you their deaths, like sure the deaths are like tragic, but also like they're tragic and I don't even know names really well.
crying about the main female character, and oh no, what happened to her? And I didn't say anything because I ain't a spoiler. But the bitching and the moaning about this, and remember what you're moaning about is that like this anime has stakes that like people get fucked up, if they ain't ready for it. Like that's literally what you're. Rather than everyone leaves and survives, and you know the outcome from the very beginning, right? Yeah, shit happens, and this is what you're crying about. It's amazing.
No. Wait a minute. There's a middle ground.
You're in
Again,
tears.
I'm not upset about stakes. I'm saying that those stakes should be attached to characters
I got
that
some
we
tissues for
care
you.
about.
All right, there you go. All right.
This nigga, I ain't gonna hold this nigga Prime is dragging it. He's definitely dragging it.
He said, I got some tissues.
For sure, it makes sense. Like if you want, I'm kind of fine with you killing somebody, but I think it's weird when you like give us a little bit of time to attach to these characters. Like when you have to do the backstory at the exact same time that you killing them. Like let me tell you why you should care. Like while I'm killing the nigga, that seems strange. I feel like we could have, you could have fit
There
this in
was-
somewhere else.
There was
I think I
definitely
kinda
see
plenty of that, but whatever.
I think I see that. I think I see that point.
There was plenty
speaking,
of
One Piece-
story. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Ray. So go ahead.
I mean, technically speaking, like what I know what Bam's talking about, where it's like just before the character gets off, it's just like, hey, here's their
This is their
here's their
childhood.
backstory. Like I get that. I 100% understand that because I deal with that I deal with that mindset a lot. Thinking like, why are they doing it now when it comes to One Piece characters just before they're beaten? It's just like, hey, look how sad their backstory was. It does it every time. I still love One Piece, but
I see that wasn't a good comparison because you compared it to the
not a
greatest piece
bad-
of
it's not a-
media in the history of the world. I won't accept that.
You said Yu Yu Hakusho incorrectly.
Ooh, Yu Yu Hakusho's the Netflix series is out and it's way better than the One Piece
Look, here's the thing.
live action.
I actually saw one of the
I
fight
didn't say live
scenes. The
action. I said
choreography
anime, too.
was fantastic. Because I honestly didn't have a lot of faith in it. I
Oh,
honestly
it
did. I
already
didn't
came out
like it.
the live action. That's
Um,
right. Fuck. I'm checking out after this.
It did
stream, so
apparently,
go ahead.
and I do have to check it out too. Because the fight scene I saw, it was excellent. It looked fantastic. So I don't know about the story. The story looks weak in the trailers, but the choreography might be amazing. I say it might be. It was amazing when I saw it.
No, I don't think it's actually out yet. I think I've seen a leak of it.
No, I
Oh,
think
you saw-
it's
okay.
December 14th is when it was supposed to come out.
Oh crap!
And-
That's
and
actually
anime.
right, yeah.
Yu Yu
Well, it's not
Hakusho.
anime. Yeah,
Yu Yu
it's
Hakusho.
Yeah, but
adaptation.
Yeah.
why do you?
Let me. I'm gonna hit up Netflix and find out right now.
Yeah, it is December 14th. Yeah, maybe that's why I seen like 15 minutes. It was I guess it was like the episode was released. I got it was a leak.
I might need to get Netflix again, not only to watch
Yeah.
the live action One Piece, but also that, and also catch back up to the next season of Kengan Ashura, because I really like that one.
I'm gonna need you guys to spit your ideas out real fucking quick. Let's get this done, wrap it up, so I can watch Yu Yu Hakusho. I've been really excited for this. Actually, I've been waiting around, hoping. And it goes to the tournament arc, which is My only
That's shocking.
problem is that like, well, you know what probably happens? They probably just like skip through most of the initial setup arc. Right? That probably like you remember how like in the beginning of Yu Yu Hakusho where it's like Bleach, you know, where it's kind of like doing random shit.
I mean, it's filling itself out. It's like it's
Yeah.
a show. It's a show by a new mangaka who doesn't really know what
Yeah.
story you want to tell yet. So I can understand.
Yeah,
Like I can see a lot of that being filled into one episode.
Yeah, that's exactly what's happening.
Oh, you're
'Cause there's
dead.
no
We're gonna
way
be
that
the
you
spirit
get to, like,
detective.
there's no way you get to the tournament arc, and maybe they might even finish the tournament arc. That might be a case too. They might only get like halfway through it, but like that arc is like way down that line, so you have to like X a whole bunch of episodes out. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. The only because let's see, you've got
Multiple
the
tournament
spirit
arcs?
detective arc. You've got the second arc is the training, whatever, like going to see Genkai.
They must
Genkai-
introduce the characters super quick too, because like I'm not like
They
that's what
had
I'm
to have,
concerned about. It's like giving them time to breathe, because like we want to learn about like Kuwabara and his sword, you know, like, and give them a chance to shine. Like, do they get to all that? We'll see. I really hope so. I want this to succeed. I really do.
I mean, it looks like honestly, it looks as a One Piece fan, it looks way better than One Piece. And One Piece doesn't look bad, but it just looks like, oh, this is a quality show. Like this feels
Talking
like
about live
Choreography.
action.
I'll give you that. The
Talking about live
choreography does
action,
look great.
at least, yeah.
So I don't know. I think for me, I like the story and the spirit of Yu Yu Hakusho. I kind of like the fact that it was tongue in cheek and it kind of has to become serious. I like the comedy elements to it. The trailer made it look really melodramatic. It kind of looks like it kind of loses that spark to it. So for me, it's like I don't know if I'm going to jive with the story as an adaptation. So, but we'll see. It might be good, but I just
I hope
gotta
they gave
watch.
up on the fact of like Yusuke being a 14-year-old because it
Well,
doesn't
they
really
gave up
fit.
on that. He looks like an adult. Yeah, that's an adult.
Like it seems like it's something that they
I mean,
started
so
like
did JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, but
yeah, it seems like something that like they started started his story is like, oh yeah, this is a 14-year-old, and then he realized like actually that's super irrelevant, like his school life or anything related to it. We're just
Well,
not gonna
Yusuke-
deal with that.
Well, Yusuke grows up. You know, what I mean, like, he gets older. I think he ends the series about like 18, 19 or so. But
He's a grown man from the beginning. It's interesting. The anime is like, I mean, I feel like it's one of the few shows I definitely tell everybody watch the dub of more than the sub.
oh yeah,
But,
I only experienced the dub. Yeah,
It's like, but there's like some liberties that the anime took that, I mean, it does in the scheme of things doesn't like it still makes for a great show, but I think it leaves out some context. Like if you just watch the anime, you could tell that like, oh, okay, Yusuke's mom's like drinks a lot, but you don't get you don't understand the concept that like, oh yeah, she's like almost an abusive prostitute. Like Yusuke's like this because Yusuke's like life is pretty crappy, all other things considered. And it's interesting that like
It's
she
in the
ended
manga.
up the way
Are you
it
saying
is.
the manga versus the anime, or?
Yeah.
Oh, I've never read the manga. That's interesting.
Mhm.
That they censored
manga
that.
is a wee bit different.
Interesting. I want to read so I watched Claymore years ago with my girlfriend actually. We really enjoyed it, but I really don't remember like the ending. Right? Like I remember liking it, but I just like don't remember because I never like went back over it again, but like so I just don't remember it. But I understand that the manga is like super different from Claymore, and like just like wildly out there. It might be another Full Metal Alchemist situation where like maybe the anime came out before the manga is complete, but like I've just heard that they're very different. So, but I remember really enjoying the anime, so I'm gonna rewatch that and I'm gonna read the manga and find the difference between the two. But like Claymore's like really fucking fun. You should check it out. It's
Yeah,
really
I've heard
intense.
of
I
it.
remember. All right. Okay. So I don't know. Any point waiting? Hold on. Yeah. So I don't know if there's any point waiting around any longer. So we'll just get started. Hello all. Thanks for being here. Much appreciated. This is
one is working. Yes.
This is the a reverie a round table. Sorry,
Is it?
all black everything. No, sorry. This is what happens when I'm like highly distracted. It's just yeah. This is all black everything. Round table shop Thursday 8 p.m. Eastern. We got a great group of guests here, and I'll introduce them. Start our friend. Black American Maid is here with us. How are you, Bam?
Hey, doing pretty great. I'm sick of work. I'm ready for like the little Christmas holidays. Even though Christmas falls on like Christmas and New Year's are both like kind of on the weekend. I mean, I guess a Monday, but that doesn't really count. So that kind of sucks. That like, oh, well, like I'll get an off day, but not like a real off day. But all in all, I am doing well. Yeah, just ready for 2024.
Next we have Solus, who we're always really happy to see. Solus, how are you, friend?
I'm good. I've been making music more than I have for a long time in my life, and arguing with Eminem fans about their shitty takes, which is like my favorite pastime. Side note, for later. Tell me Mac Miller is not a better white rapper than Eminem.
Depends on what you want from a rapper.
As just artist catalog, so overall, just you want you got a
I haven't
person.
heard a
You
lot
got
of
Mac
Mac
Miller,
Miller
you got
to make
Eminem.
That'll be
Yeah,
a
Mac
thing.
Miller-
I'm about to say we'll get to
Mac
openness.
Miller.
I got a comment.
Yeah, I
for
was
that.
gonna say, just keep that in the back of your mind. Let that simmer, let that marinate.
You sound a little quiet. You're relatively clear, but you sounded quiet. Then is that only me? I'm not 100%. Anyone else?
I mean, he sounds fine.
I can turn my shit up. Hold on.
Okay.
I just don't want to get into his peaking issue he had before. Like,
Yeah, I know. Like it sounded fine, just like the it was volume.
This
sounded.
better?
A bit, yeah. We'll go with that and see how it is. Let's go with our friend Razor. Thanks for being here, Razor.
Hey yo, it's your boy. Yeah, it's always just fun. It's always fun to be here. Got back from a little Christmas party at my work's distribution center. Didn't win anything like I did last year, unfortunately.
It'd be like that.
Today's topic is obviously very hitting very close to home here, so we'll see what happens there. You know, after the free discussion, we'll figure that out. Yeah, let's see what today's gonna be about.
Thank you. Next, we have our friend Bass. Thanks for coming back. We're very happy that you are spending time with us.
Yeah, I enjoyed last time I came on. Figured be some more cool discussions. Be really interesting. Keep on talking. So.
All right. Thanks so much. Todd. Sorry. Mooncake. Thank you for being here, friend. Much appreciated. Nice to see you again.
Of course. Thanks for having me. I'm sorry if my internet cuts out. It's been kind of funny today. So hopefully it doesn't. Yeah. Thanks for having me, and I'm looking forward to today.
Okay.
Why are you holding your mic?
I hope that was okay. Sometimes it's easier. Like sometimes where it sits is kind of funny. So it's like
Yeah, bringing it closer can help.
you can just grab it.
Okay. Probably like speaking to the front
I
of it.
also, like,
Probably best when you speak.
oh
to the
yeah, I
front
know.
of it.
I just I throw it around like this.
I'm sorry. I was gonna make
Yeah.
a joke, an inappropriate joke out of that, but I'll stop. I'll stop.
Oh my God. Trying to get my stream shut down. Let's go to our friend DQ, who's with us. Glad you could be here, DQ.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I appreciate it. I'm the Debate Queen, and y'all can follow me on all social media channels and come check me out.
Okay.
Is that
All right.
rhinestones or is that like a do-rag?
It's
Okay,
like,
like
it's like rhinestones.
oh, okay. I thought that was like the paisleys or like a do-rag. I was like, that's crazy. I was like, if somebody had a full like do-rag, very good. That would be insane. Somebody should do that.
Okay. So what do we want to talk about today, folks? To start us off. Anyone have anything interesting?
Oh, so
okay,
just before I take a shower to get ready for this, got into a small little little argument with someone who was saying that anti-Semitism.
But them
in the
niggas that
Black
we can slide on
community
them
is
right
not
now.
a thing. Like it was like apparently some article had come out kind of polling saying that a rather concerning amount of percentage of young people are now thinking the Holocaust was a myth, and those numbers are heavily skewed in such a way that it says that a lot of those numbers are coming from the Black community and Black and Mexican Black and Hispanic communities of them saying that the Holocaust was a myth, and which is surprising considering whenever you think Holocaust deniers, you think usually the white supremacist Nazis. So, and
So
I
you-
ended up and had an argument with someone who was like calling that out apparently makes me racist.
Facts. Nothing is racist, Razor. Come on, man. We've been over this, bro. Everything is everything. Nothing is racist.
So
I
okay,
seen,
go ahead.
yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, I seen, I think Vosh even, I seen Vosh clip going around on Twitter about this.
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about.
Mhm.
It was that Vosh clip.
I
Oh, Vosh clips. Oh boy.
I think that like it's on its like the reality is on its face. I could somewhat believe it, but I don't know. It depends on how they define anti-Semitism. Like I do believe that Black people, especially young, easily influenced Black people, are kind of find issue. Number one, find the issue with like with Jewish people like commingling their struggle and history to the Black struggle in America. I think that that's something that on its face can become annoying and frustrating. And I also think when you add in the new, the new meta or whatever with Israel, Palestine, and young people arguing that this is the most important thing to them in the world, which I don't understand why, when they probably couldn't find it on the map. I think that it leads to it also leads to some of these positions, because like for some reason there's a myth going around that like Black people and Palestinians have a long, strong history of being bonded together in the struggle, and like pro-Palestine is pro-Blackness, which I don't understand why these
Yeah, that's a
how
bit
these
of a
correlate.
that's a Mr. Fantastic stretching right there.
I
I've never
mean,
heard that
I
until this
can
moment.
I can see that.
Hold on, we get a
Like
little echo. Oh,
Very
that's from.
echoey.
Is it from Solus? Yeah, Solus.
No, that's me.
Oh.
What? That's
Yeah, we
echo
got-
for me?
Uh huh. Yeah. So, sorry. Go ahead, please, Mooncake. Oh, no, fuck. DQ. I don't know. Black people look all the same to me.
you
You
are
don't even have her face out.
fucking up with all these
How
words
do you mix
today,
up someone who doesn't
Brian.
have a face out?
First it was the reverie. Now you getting my name wrong. At least call me Her Majesty. God damn. Like
okay.
shit.
Apologies, DQ. Go ahead.
I think that I can see that, right? Because like the way that they treat Black people and treat Palestinians are fairly the same, right? We've been tried to like we've as Black people been tried to been like eradicated, right? We've been bombed on in our own cities here in America, like that's real, right? And I think that happened in Baltimore, if I'm not mistaken, right? And so like I can see that like we are kind of like Black people and Palestinians are in a similar like plight as like just being seen as like human beings to essentially white people. But I understand that also like the whiteness of like Israelis is also a thing as well. So or I should
So,
say as Jewish people, not necessarily Israelis, but
what?
That's
What am I
Bass's
hear-
shit.
It sounds
That's
like a
Bass.
radio or something. Is this on my end?
No, that's Bass. That's Bass. I'm looking at the Discord trying to fix my shit. That was Bass.
Okay.
That was
There's
me
some shit
doing
playing in your background, brother.
It might happen.
You got the stream unmuted? I mean, not the stream. Like, do you have Prime Stream up?
Well, I do have the stream up, but I was also listening to the Vouch clip to get a better understanding.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's.
okay.
I was guessing
Oh,
that's
that's
what
what
that was
was
because I
playing?
shared it
Oh
into
yeah.
the group chat.
Probably just
Yeah.
mute yourself if you was doing that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
But-
no problem. Yeah, just cool.
Can someone send me that clip or
It's
like
in the group
link
chat.
it?
He did. He
I just
posted
sent you
it.
the.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Mhm.
I
Thanks.
sent you in
Love.
the group chat.
So, I don't. I think the struggle for equality for Black Americans is absolutely tied with the struggle for equality for Palestinians.
They don't
That doesn't
involve
mean
it.
that like our struggles are exactly the same, and but it's more that well, I mean there is an effect there because like what they do to Palestinians is exported back to us here in the States, like literally
It
the
first
tactics
happened here.
and the
Yep,
and the
we exported it.
and the software that they use, but then on the other end, like the things that were done to African Americans were exported from the U.S. to Israel. So these things aren't separate, right? But they are injustices that are happening. Whether it's like Palestinians have been on the front lines with Black people during the struggle, no, it was not really, right? Or vice versa. It's like there are injustices, and these are injustices that need to be dealt with. These are examples of white supremacy. These are examples of colonial settler behavior, right? These are these the fights are linked, and we should have greater cooperation between these two groups. But yeah, I don't know. I don't
You
think it's
think
hard
it-
to understand.
I mean, Nelson Mandela was supporting Palestinians and converting them to South Africa.
MLK,
so-
Malcolm X, they all saw the they saw the struggle. They got it.
Yeah.
I do think it is
also
useful.
that the do you think that also the one of the issues is the constant attack on education that the right has done over the years? That's just and with it already being bad schools for a lot of like Black areas already being bad, it just made it even worse for our current generation, just not having as much information as they should.
I'm sorry. I don't. Could you? What
Ba-
exactly are you
like-
asking me?
Like basically there's them saying it's a myth is because they were not taught as much as previous generations.
Oh, you're talking
What-
about. Oh, you're moving back to World War II. I see. Okay, the Holocaust.
back to
Okay.
but with them with how the poll said that our current generation is getting a lot more people saying that it was a myth.
I mean, I imagine.
I don't think they're getting that from a historical place. Like I don't think that they've logically or like information led them to that position. Again, I just think it's,
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Like obviously it wasn't information that got them to that place. It's more. I'm more asking, do you think like it's the lack of that alongside the emotional stuff that's been happening a lot?
I mean, I'm not sure. I haven't been in high school in a decade, but I imagine the Holocaust is one of the few events that gets a level of focus.
Yeah.
In high school, like I can imagine like the education system skipping that.
Yeah, I mean, like for my education, I mean, it's also been like a decade since I've been in school, almost 20. Wow. Um, like World War II was a
Almost
big
20?
thing that, yeah, because I'm about to be 24, and in another 4 years it'll be 20 years since I've been in high school.
Oh.
Yeah.
That math did not math in my
What?
head.
What?
Were you
it-
homeschooled?
Or I
I thought I
did
was the only one for a moment.
No, because I'm like, yeah, I'm about to be 34 plus another 4 years, and I'll
Oh,
be
you
20
said
years.
34.
Yeah, before you said
Oh, I thought
24.
you said
misheard.
20. Okay, I thought she
Yeah.
said 24 too.
Yeah,
Okay.
so you're 34, and then 20
34.
years since the
Yes.
beginning of high school. Okay.
Right.
All right.
Or since I graduated, because I graduated when I was 18. And so like the big thing that everybody looked forward to was learning about World War II, because it's the cool thing, I guess, like like there's so much focus on like World War II, especially in like junior year and especially senior year, that you really get to like learn about a little bit of everything and like what happened. I mean, like, listen, there were like black soldiers who liberated Holocaust camps, who videotaped, and pictures were black people who like saw these events. So um I just think that too, it's just not like well known is like our even our role in helping the like liberate like Holocaust camps and stuff too. And so yeah, like it was a big thing, but like if you're not like really into like World War II or anything of that sort, I can see you kind of like sleeping on it. It's like, okay, it happened, but like you're not really interested in like what happened.
And I
Um,
also blame people like Prime. I think he has to take on full responsibility. It's actually all your fault, because we created like a generation of where like the view of foreign policy in the United States is like whatever the U.S. said was incorrect. Whoever the U.S. allied with was actually the aggressor, and like you're correct if you just take like a opposite history position
that's
on
so
everything.
stupid. That's really dumb. Like
That-
that's just like a
that-
caricature of the left, right?
No,
Like,
there's a legit
literally a
there's a
character of the
legit
left.
TikTok trend of this. I can show you 10 videos right now of people saying like verbatim that like, oh yeah, if you want to be right on foreign policy, just like say the opposite. Like it's just reverse the opposite of whatever you were taught by America, and you'll be right. Like
Yeah, there are people who unfortunately say that, and it's so fucking stupid.
and I'd like that leads you to a position of where like, oh okay, if the U.S. considers like Israel as an ally, like it must be because Israel like everything was made up, the Holocaust didn't happen, like this is all like part of some bigger agenda. And again, I don't understand just because MLK and Malcolm X like were pro some free version of Palestine, especially in their time in the 60s, it just makes sense to in like this new establishing country, does not connect the
That's
black and
but
Palestinian.
this isn't. First of all, so listen, I'm still hearing the
Yeah,
echo,
it's,
and
it's
like,
definitely him.
yeah, it's definitely
It's me.
distracting.
Is it
Yeah, yeah.
Paulus or is it-
Yeah. So that's not a leftist critique, right? Like at all. Like it really isn't a leftist critique. Now,
I can
like
show
what
you
we're
it.
seeing, hold on. When you like there was the incident that happened like 2 weeks back. We didn't end up talking about it, but it was the whole woman on TikTok who read the Osama bin Laden's letter to America and was like, "Man, this is genius," and like we were lied to our whole lives, right? Like what that is a critique of is the lack of education and a mainstream media that doesn't actually deal with America's faults, right? Who that erases these things, that cheerleads genocidal wars as we're seeing right now. Like that's a critique born of that. It's like saying that the anti. Here's what it is, right? It's trying to map the anti-vaccine movement to like, oh, it's a left or right issue, because especially initially that was not right. Like, it was people from across the spectrum who one didn't have a very good grasp of like medicine and how that works or anything like that, right? But they were people who were not given great information by the U.S. government when the pandemic was happening. They were left alone to their own devices. People who like weren't in work, right? And who were afraid for their children, so they're going to Facebook groups, being told all kinds of crazy information. Now you can say, "Well, I blame the left." I blame the right, but like there are people. It was women. It started off like a lot of like housewives, right, from like across the political spectrum who were feeling this way. So just to say that, oh yeah, the left did this, it's pretty a dumb fuck take. Thanks, Bam. Thanks for that, Bam. I really appreciate
I'm
it.
sorry, well that's just what's happening. So like because you said all of that, and it doesn't change that's what's happening.
Yeah, hold
And
on,
it's maybe
but
it's maybe because young people are dumb.
You started off You started off saying I blame the left for this, right?
No, I said blame you.
No, you said no. You started before then. You were like, I blame the left, and then you were like, I
I consider
blame
myself
you.
on the left. Like I said, it's not the
Yeah,
left.
I
It's
know.
almost like a jokingly way of saying it. If
Yeah.
anything,
And
I would
then
do
in
the same.
response, when I said that's a dumb leftist critique, then you say, well, I can find people on TikTok doing this. This is a real thing. So obviously we're linking the two, aren't we?
Sure. But
Okay.
that's different. But no, wait a minute. You're missing what I'm saying. Like you're just saying that, like, you're doing a no true Scotsman thing. You're saying true leftists wouldn't make this critique. But I'm like, but this is what young people are doing who consider themselves
No.
leftists.
Yeah, but oh my god, like, I like just give you an example, right? To like say, hey, maybe don't try to map this on left and right, and you just like completely ignore it. You're like, oh, I was waiting for my time to talk, right? So I guess I didn't catch any of that, right? Like, not everything is cleanly mapped on a left or right scale. I am sure, right, that there are people who say they are on the left who are saying those things, right? But I'm saying that that's not a leftist critique, right? Just because I Prime have an opinion doesn't make it a leftist critique, right? Like I don't know.
Sure, that much was a joke. I don't really care about tying it to a side. I'm just saying that this is a problem in the youth that's exacerbated, which is leading to this problem, and we understand where the youth politics lie, or do we not?
Do we? Just because they're young, are they on the left? I don't
Yes.
know.
Statistically.
Literally, okay, that's awful.
Yeah,
and to say, your sample, the place you're drawing your sample being TikTok. TikTok has a strong conservative movement. They have a strong evangelical movement that's rising. Like, have you never seen these things?
Are they strong? No, absolutely not. That's not TikTok
right.
politically.
So I guess you can see.
I guess Twitch has a strong.
If you see a young
conservative
person,
Russian
then you can
bots.
just
There's
assume
like
their
Russian bots,
politics are left. And you can see an old person, I guess you can assume their politics are conservative. That's how
you
this
can.
works.
You absolutely.
It's
Wait, are you saying you
awful.
can't?
Usually,
No, you can't. Yeah, I'm absolutely saying you can't.
No, you're
This is your
absolutely.
political
You're
analysis?
not engaging. You're not engaging with real. You're not engaging with real life. Then
Brilliant.
you're just not. If you look at, if I say
Political
okay,
analysis from Bam.
wait, Prime, you're telling me.
Brilliant.
you can't assume it. Statistically speaking, you can assume, but that doesn't
No,
mean
you
you
can't
should
assume.
just outright
Okay.
all the time.
Statistically
I
speaking, no, you can't.
75-year-old white male, the Mississippi.
Oh, let's see how he adds Mississippi. Yeah, Mississippi, an area.
No, that's what you're asking.
No.
That's what I said.
Sorry, hold on.
That's what I was saying.
I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to Bam.
Sorry.
He adds Mississippi. He has to add that because if you just look at a 75-year-old white man, then yeah, actually you can't, right?
Well,
if
no,
you're talking
a
about
75-year-old white man, you could still assume.
a region known to be a blood red conservative.
TikTok, a
then
region
it makes
known to be blood
Then
blue
it makes sense,
conservative,
right? If
yes.
you go to a region, but that TikTok has people across the spectrum. And yes, it literally does.
Then
I'm sorry.
the state of Mississippi does. Then
I guess I didn't inform you that, right? I didn't inform you. Or someone didn't inform you that TikTok reaches like the entire nation. So to assume that a person on TikTok, who appears young to you, must be left is actually a dumb fuck take.
it's not. Wait. You think that the state of Mississippi is a better political region than a 19-year-old on TikTok? You think that you could better guess based on the state than the type of social media someone engages in? Because I'm like, and that's a legitimate thing. Because I think that's stupid. I think that actually a young person on TikTok, I can give you a better grasp of their politics than just saying that what state someone's from.
I think I could put that.
How would you do that? Explain your process here.
I'm sure there's tons of data that will follow.
No. Now you're sure there's tons of data. No,
Yes.
Explain how you would do it. Explain how you would do it.
I'm saying that someone that is young, someone's Gen Z, maybe even Gen A, like Gen A, which we see politically is overwhelmingly leaning more and more liberal, left, whatever you want to call it, leaning blue. In TikTok. TikTok is an app that overwhelmingly leads blue. White woman. All of these traits.
I'm asking what tools are you going to use to actually make this assessment other than that they're there? Like,
Okay.
I'm asking you, what is the tools that you're going to use for that assessment?
Okay, we're
Can
just.
I-
I'm about to say we're not engaging with real life. I'm about to say
No,
that's
no,
cool.
hold on, no.
Wait, are
I
you-
asked.
wait,
Hold on,
wait.
wait. Oh, no,
Can I
no. Because one second. Okay, you
Okay.
you come to me and you say, "Oh, you've got this great tool. You've got a great assessment process for this, right?" I'm like, "Okay, all right." Bam must have something, so let's
For
ask him
sure.
what it is, right? And then when I press you after for it, you're like, "Oh, we're not dealing with reality
'Cause you-
here. I'm
'cause
not
you know-
dealing with
'cause you
reality.
know it when
if
you
I'm
see it.
bothering to ask you with this, right? Because you just made all this shit up. Great.
No, I didn't
thank
make it
you.
up. You know it when you see it.
Mooncake.
Okay,
go
so-
ahead. Hold on, Mooncake Razor.
Okay.
And then Razor.
No, I was just going to jump in there. Mine kind of goes back, but I was going to say this. I think the issue of specifically in the Black community of people not believing in the Holocaust, I think this falls on the government as a whole. If we're being honest, they never took seriously the genocide in the Congo, Rwanda, for example, like things like that. They didn't make it a thing. So in school, for example, in elementary school, you learn about the Holocaust immediately, right? All the way up until high school, and then sometimes even into university. And I think, at least for me, for slavery, you got like 2 days of it, right? And they really only went over like Rosa Parks, like the usual stuff to keep it PG. So I think
even
because
slavery,
they
that's the
pushed
civil rights
aside all the
movement.
atrocities
You know?
to Black Americans, since they pushed it aside, I think Black Americans are kind of like, well, this happened and you guys didn't take it seriously, and it didn't kill as much as slavery did, right? I think it's like the numbers like over 60 million died during the entire slave trade, but during the Holocaust it was 6 million. So I think young Black Americans, especially, they feel a type of way about the fact that one is more, I guess, talked about. There's obviously been reparations, and then you've one that you kind of don't really want to talk about, and it's easy to dismiss. So part of it feels like people are doing it on purpose, and I do know Black Americans are more likely to believe in conspiracy theories, but I also think part of that is because of things like the I forget the test that they did where they were injecting Black men with syphilis, right? I think it all
The
falls
Tuskegee
like,
experiment.
there's too much of a history.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's too much of a
Can I-
history, right? Makes you less likely to trust the government.
Can I
And
say
also-
something
also, they
as the
weren't
youngest
injecting
Black
him with-
American here?
What's up?
Wait, no, bam. Fuck what I was about to say. They wasn't injecting them with. Tell me this
No.
was a lie.
No, they weren't injecting people with syphilis. They were finding people with syphilis and saying they were basically just studying the exposure to syphilis.
The
What's
spread,
what's the
basically.
name of
about
the
to
So
test
that
again?
movie was a lie?
It's Tuskegee.
Bam.
Tuskegee
Yeah,
University.
you have heard of the
Bam.
Tuskegee experiment?
No,
Or
I
that's-
did, but Bam is fucking up my movie lore. Wait, that movie with Lawrence Fishburne was a lie?
No, that
Lawrence Fishburne wasn't
that's
in Tuskegee.
different.
That was a
no.
different experiment.
That's talking about the Tuskegee Airmen, which is different from the Tuskegee experiment.
I think
Okay.
Nigga,
what he's
wait,
thinking about.
no,
he's
no,
thinking- what
no,
he's thinking about with
no,
Lawrence
no,
Fishburne
no, 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 no,
is
no,
the
no,
niggas
no,
locked
no.
in the room. They locked him in the jail,
They're
and
two
he took over the
different
jail.
things.
No. Nigga, there was a movie with Lawrence Fishburne in it, and he was a part of an experiment where they were injecting people with AIDS. The shit with the Tuskegee Airmen had the nigga from Radio in it. I don't remember his name. These are two different. Y'all fucking me up. No, nigga. The
It was originally
Tuskegee.
called the Tuskegee Study of Untreated Syphilis in the Negro Male.
Yeah, they
now
just
referenced
basically
the
just watch what
USDS
happened if you didn't
Untreated
treat it.
Syphilis
Yeah,
Study Act.
basically, they didn't give you any
Okay,
any
so, sorry,
medication
I-
for it.
Oh, I mean, that's still kind of fucked up. I ain't gonna hold you. That's
I said
Yeah.
it wrong. It said that the subjects were completely unaware, I guess, that they had syphilis,
Yeah.
and they were instead told they were receiving treatment for bad blood, when in fact they weren't receiving treatment at all. So my
I
fault.
remember this
I
movie
missed it.
vividly because they
They
like had
weren't-
to
they
do a
weren't
spinal.
injecting
They had to do a
Most people
spinal
say
tap on
that.
a guy.
A different thing. You're thinking of the Tuskegee Airmen, which
Who,
is
me?
different. Yes.
No,
You're
I'm not. I
thinking
can
of
tell you, I'm not, because I
there's the
specifically
Tuskegee
vividly remember
Airmen.
the movie scene where they had to get spinal tapped. It was over syphilis. I remember it. You can't fool me. Like I remember it vividly. They spinal tapped the man in the movie, and he was screaming and shouting. It was one of the most visceral scenes in the entire film. I remember it vividly. I know the difference between the two. I'm speaking on the one where there was syphilis involved. I remember the movie. Nigga, do you gotta Google this shit? Like,
Well, I'm pretty sure I think you're thinking of Miss Evers Boys, and yeah, like I said, it's just a historical like thing that it's kind of something that somebody said they got passed. They just keep getting passed along and along. They don't-
Oh,
they don't
okay.
have
Yeah,
to-
I think
Yeah, I do think
the same thing. Like,
But Lawrence
Sorry,
Fishburne was also in Tuskegee Airmen.
he was in both. Well, I mean, he was a prominent black actor. I could believe he was in both. He was like that. So.
Let's go to Bass Mooncake.
I do feel like we kind of moved a little bit away from. I think Mooncakes was making a pretty good point about Black people and the Holocaust. Because one thing I was
yeah.
thinking about while she was talking which is kind of how far removed not only are black people from the Holocaust, but just kind of as a culture, why we even still discuss it. No offense. This might, be a little much to say, but like when are we gonna accept that the Holocaust happened? And then just move on. We accept slavery happened.
Also, I was
and we
about to
had to
say,
move on.
fuck,
we
I
had to
wanted the
move on.
ball.
We had to eat that. So why?
Fuck, I
why
wanted
do
the
we
ball for a
keep
second. As the
going?
youngest Black American here, I think that most Black people my age, at least in the ones that I speak with, they're not. They're like American history educated. I don't even think they think about or know about or engaging with the existence of a Holocaust enough to say whether it's real or not. I don't know where the fuck this conversation is happening. There's a bunch of I could believe that there's a group of Black people out there, like the conspiratorial folks, the people that like think that Black people are like the sun children of the earth and all that good shit, like the conspiratorial of us. Yeah, but like, is there a problem with a massive amount of young Black folks that don't believe in the Holocaust? Like, where the fuck is this? Motherfuckers don't even get taught about the Holocaust that much for them not believing in it. Like,
yeah, I
think part of the
agree.
issue-
Go ahead.
Sorry, I think
Lindsay.
just part of the issue, and thank you, Queen. I think just part of the issue is when you deny something like the Holocaust, right? And I would say the same thing for slavery. If you deny it happens, then at that point it's kind of like, well, this can never happen because it hasn't happened, if that makes sense. So when you acknowledge that something has happened, you can look back at history and say, okay, we don't want to do this again. So let's do these things to make sure this doesn't happen again.
History
Right?
are doomed to repeat it. Yeah.
But my question is, do you guys
Exactly.
think in this political climate that we would ever get anywhere close to a Holocaust? Because I don't
Yes.
think we would.
Yeah, I think we could.
especially not in America. I don't
I think we
so.
could.
I would like.
I
to
think
know the
with
process
the
because-
right
Currently, with what considering what the right wing is currently doing right now with the messages that they're pushing towards trans and LGBT people, they are right now setting up to have another Holocaust for
no, see,
LGBT.
here's why-
I don't
here's
think it would
why
happen in the U.S.
wait. Wait. Was a question for America?
Exactly. It was for
Awesome.
America. And here's why.
In
I would disagree.
America? Hell no. I don't
they're
believe it.
working
No,
on it.
Let's let Bass.
One-
Let's let Bass talk. Go ahead, Bass,
The
please.
reason why I don't agree is because one, we still have a constitution that gives legal protections against the government. Like first, that constitution would have to be dismantled before any people ever get like rounded up. And,
Which is
like,
currently what
killed
Project
or-
Let
2025
Bass.
is aiming
Let
to
Bass.
do.
Should I go
Let
after that? I don't know anything
Bass
about
get it
that.
out, please.
So but I would like to discuss it. I don't know anything about that, but that'd be really interesting. But one, I think the Constitution would just have to be dismantled. Like its entire purpose and all the amendments, of course, are to give us legal protection so the government can't do something like that to begin with. That's just kind of number one. Number two, there's a gigantic culture war going on constantly of two different sides who don't agree with each other battling back and forth. I don't see how it doesn't even seem like one side is really beating out the other. It's like this perpetual, never-ending battle between them. Like, who's gonna gain the political? And then another thing is, I don't even think the right wing would ever even want to round up these people, any person they disagree with, and like harm them. I think they just would rather not deal with them. I think there's a difference between not wanting to deal with and then ejecting and then later killing that like Hitler went into in the Holocaust. So I don't see it happening. I don't not here in America at least.
Let's go to
but-
Mooncake Razor DQ. Bam.
I was just gonna say that with the right elements, this can repeat easily again. Right now, as we see in the States, it's politically it's very polarized, and that's on every side, right? We have somebody like Donald Trump who, if he gets reelected, right, he will go in there, and I don't think he even cares about a constitution. He said the first thing he's going to do is lock up like all the people who I think
Who
spoke
went after
against him,
him.
things along those lines. Fire who he needs to fire, right? And that just right there is partly, at least in my eyes, part of a government takeover. When you have someone who doesn't like certain people, and they have the tools to do something about it, I think that can lead to a potential genocide. I can't call this situation a genocide, but I think we could be leading there. Now there is medical assisted dying, at least where I am, for people who are homeless, for people who are too poor. And I think that if we continue to allow that, to me, in my eyes, it's like genocide, but not in a way of like forcing, I guess, people,
It'd be
like
a
locking them up and doing it,
genocide, you would
but
say.
like
Kinda
pushing
like
them to do it.
encouraging and pushing. I can see that.
Yes.
No offense, but that's not America. I think that's in Canada though. But I
yeah,
can see
but
your
I'm
point
just saying in general, it
Mhm.
could be something that transfers over, right?
there. Mhm.
Next door neighbors.
From Canada to America?
No.
Like something like that. Medical
No.
assisted dying.
No,
I think that is something
Yeah.
America would consider as well.
That's only in certain states,
Mhm.
and you have to have a very strict level of like what meets your
Yes, what it
criteria
is,
for
if it's like
medical
your life,
assistance.
if you're not able to live, and I think somebody, and I will pull up an article just so I'm not like just spewing something. I believe someone in Canada, and I'll look it up. I think it was because they were homeless, they were too poor. They said their life was whatever. But I'm just showing an example of how far things can go, right? What if they start saying, okay, you know what? If you are homeless, yeah, you can choose to do this, right?
That would be like
My
the
fear is
purge.
that it's going to keep.
All the good the purge does.
Let's. Oh yeah. So your fear is what? And then we'll go to Razor.
Just that it's going to keep right, like something similar like that, right? And I know you can't call it a genocide, but it's in my eyes
I see what
similar
you're saying.
potentially.
Let's go to Razor, DQ, and Bam.
Okay, so I'm gonna first start off because someone in the chat wanted you to read it off. Just may as well read it off for the chat. The first definition of a genocide: the deliberate killing of a large number of people from a particular nation or ethnic group with the aim of destroying that nation or group. So there's a possibility that we are slightly using the wrong term, but it's also a term that works to get the point across of like what we're talking about.
If we said mass murder instead of you get the fucking idea. What is this pedantic semantic bull? What the fuck are we doing?
Pedantic semantic
Yeah.
random minute.
Because the other term, obviously, mass deportation and stuff like that could also be a thing. God, I just need to read that definition, and my brain's fried.
Let's go to.
Sorry, where were we last at? Fuck.
DQ.
Yeah, so we already see how the Supreme Court is ruling on these like cases, right? So it's only a matter of time before essentially the Supreme Court dismantles protections and dismantles the Constitution the way it is. It's coming slow, right? But that's always been the rights
Game
like
plan.
playbook. That's their playbook. Slow and steady wins the race, and they've been slow and steady in winning the race, right? Okay. So, like I said, it's only a matter of time before the Constitution becomes mute and before we won't have any constitutional protections for any American, right? Whether you're LGBTQ, you're Black, you're a Native American, you're white, it's an Asian, like it's gonna be gone. It's gonna be gone.
I think
So
you need to substantiate a little bit more.
It's
Oh,
no, because
how.
Sorry,
All you
can I-
have to do is just look at the cases that the Supreme Court has already ruled on. We've already had 2 cases this term over the Trump tax wealth like things. Like those are things that are going into effect, right? So if those things go out, we can't like tax the rich people, right? Like that's the whole entire goal, right? The whole goal of Roe versus Wade, it's gone. Like these are all simple protections that we have and that have been guided based on the Constitution, right? Because they're constitutionalists. They're always going to think about how the framers worked the Constitution and refer back to how the Constitution was written and directed at people.
Let's
Razor,
go
did you remember your
to
point?
Bam, and then Bass can respond to all the things that have been said.
I'll go after if Razor remembered this point now. I'll tell you.
Yeah, sorry, because what I was originally going to bring up, because Bassett had the whole wanted to understand about the Project 2025 that I was saying before. I found that, and I found a quick little summary on a lot of it. One portion of it is approximately 50,000 federal workers, career professionals, or civil servants, the bedrock of our democratic government, would be fired. So it's the right, if they get Trump in office, they're planning on doing as much getting as many loyalists as possible into place, and making it just easier for him to have all the power to basically subvert the Constitution in order to destroy any of his perceived enemies. And this could also mean a lot of LGBTQ people who dare to go against him.
here's my thing
I
though.
wouldn't go that far.
Does Trump even
Just people in
care
general went
about-
against him.
Yeah,
He
see,
technically doesn't, but the right
yeah.
does, and they will use it, and they will use the fact that he's in power to get that done. That's
yeah,
the
but I
Trump
think
technically himself doesn't.
that's the thing about Trump is I look at Trump as a little bit of a buffoon. I don't look at him
Yes.
as anyone who is particularly nefarious as much as he is egotistical. Like I don't trust him. I don't like him. I don't think he's a good representative. I don't think very many politicians are good representatives for most people.
No, I
But
like that
But
guy.
I do want to push back on this idea that Trump would kind of be a little bit like Darth Vader. That he would try to coalesce all this power and then he would use it to harm so many people. I don't think that's his goal. I think he might be trying to form a legacy and he's just aggrandizing himself. And as such, that's its own problem. But I can't say that Trump's nefarious. I can't give him
The
No,
that.
I think
fascist.
he
Let's
was
Keep in
go
mind,
to-
How
no,
dare
keep in
you.
mind,
Let's go
Project
to- let's go to-
2025 is
let's
not
go-
written by Trump.
We're gonna go to Bam. We're gonna go to Solus, Mooncake, and anyone else wants to speak.
So like, I don't believe that there's any real threat of like genocide in the United States of America. I think like even whenever people try to connect it to LGBT people, like I don't even like even this Supreme Court for all their faults, like I don't believe they would like make an exemption for any bill that called for like the complete annexation of LGBT people. Like that
Oh yeah,
Annexation.
not this.
well, I
girl.
mean, not annihilation. I'm sorry, wrong word. Yeah, annihilation of LGBT people. But just because I say that in the United States, that doesn't mean that I believe that we're incapable of seeing genocide. I like the reality is if you can create a strong enough narrative about an enemy, you can get a lot of things done. Like I would argue that Gen X to this day is still probably like pretty done with like Muslim people generally. Like just because of like I remember experiencing 9/11, but I was a child. Like if you were like a teenager or a young adult during 9/11 and the impact that it had on you watching, like that was the big event, that was your Pearl Harbor or whatever. Like I know I know
How
people from
old
the
were
silent
you?
9/11 2001, so I guess I was 6. I have a decent I remember where I was that day. Like it's still something that like matters to me, but just from a different
So
context.
old, Bam. It's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
I was,
You're a
telling you.
baby.
I'm a
I
grown
was
man.
in I was in kindergarten, and and for some reason the news decided to pop on. I still remember it like it was yesterday.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
everybody
be
has a
real
story.
honest.
If you
Yeah,
No,
didn't, that was
no,
not my
let-
point though. I was
Yeah,
Here's
just
the thing.
years
I
old.
actually
oh,
don't
here's
have
the
a
thing though.
story.
That wasn't my point though. Hold
That's
on a
true. Go
second.
ahead. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I
Mhm.
so I think that like if you do a decent job of creating an enemy for a generation, like I don't think that they forget that. I know like they're still hanging on, but the last few people from like the silent generation who who still have legitimate concerns about like Japanese people, like they still call them like Orientals or the Japs,
Really?
and like it's kind of like I don't I'm not really effing with those people, and you can say what you want to convince them, like it's just people, but like was it propaganda that they were fed? Propaganda isn't a bad thing, but yeah, the propaganda that they seen growing up was like, oh, okay, this is the enemy of our generation, and it seems that for later Gen Z and some of Gen A, we're galvanizing this enemy with Israel. For what reason? Like I don't consider it to be a justifiable reason, but we've made this distinction between like, oh, okay, like I don't hate the people, I hate Israel as a country, which is a legitimate thing, but the way it ends up playing out in people's beliefs and the things that they say and do, honestly, like for a lot of people ends up still being anti-Semitism, but like it kind of with the rainbow flag or whatever. So yeah, I think that you could justify the killing of people. I mean, technically, you could argue what we did to the Middle East, like post 9/11, like, oh yeah, 2,000 people died, and we just decided, like, you know what, we going over there and we just wrecking house because you don't have to see it. Like none of us have to see it personally.
I
So
guess so.
that's
So when you say justify killing people, you more mean like justifying a war, not really like
internal genocide.
rounding up genocide, like an internal. Because like when I think of the Holocaust, I don't think of just like a war. I think of like literally like grabbing these people, rounding them up, either forcing to eject them or just straight killing them. Like that's what I think,
Mhm.
and I don't.
Well,
I don't
civilians
think that
didn't see it as that. I'm about to say, I'm sure the German civilians weren't hearing in their newspaper like, oh yeah, we rounded up another group of the Jews. It was
Mhm.
just kind of like it's always war. That's what it always is. This is just
Mhm.
what war is. They're not
Yeah,
hearing the
yeah,
specifics.
but even the Japanese internment camps in America, like you still had a population of Americans that did not agree with that at all. They were not fond of that. There was still like friction between Americans even then on what to
But
do.
doesn't that go against your point? Because I mean, it happened at the end of
Yeah, we
the
still
day.
did
Like
it.
there was friction. People didn't like it, but it still happened and pretty effectively. Like
yeah,
they were able to get it off.
Yeah, but not they didn't do what they did to the Jews, number one, but number two, the government then actually compensated them afterwards. So they
Isn't
didn't
German?
kill
I'm
them.
not.
They
I'm a
didn't
really.
kill them, so they didn't.
No, I'm saying I'm a really shitty historian, but if I'm not mistaken, like Germany like what is the It happened. It's what like it happened. Like that was what I want to say the 1940s, 50s, right? 40s into the
Well, the
50s.
U.S. government immediately apologized and issued out compensation for the Japanese Americans. But in Germany, they had to lose a war first, and then a whole bunch of different sanctions, right? Then they had to
My
get
point
their
being though is that like it
crippled, and then maybe they kind of said, "Okay, sorry, Jews," but that was after.
Your point is
They
to
had
say that
lose
we
first.
can't have an internal Holocaust, and then you pointed to the Japanese internment camps. That's a Holocaust. Well, many
Not.
Holocaust people call it, like however you want to look at it. It happened. Like
It's not a
that. I'm
Holocaust.
just saying
But
like
it's
that
not a
same.
Holocaust.
However you want to slice it, like it's a rounding up. Okay, well, what is
Mhm.
a Holocaust in your opinion though? Like you just said like it's a rounding up of
It would
people
be
internally and
a
putting them into
genocide.
camps.
Yeah, it would be killing them. Yeah. You'd
Okay,
have to
so not
kill
just holding them, not
That's
just holding them
the
like hostage against their will.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'm
Oh,
saying
okay.
we can. I'm saying we can
And I
just like
even
kill
think
a
that
lot of
even
people.
I think even in this political climate, I don't think that people would stand for any group of individuals currently in modern day America just being rounded up, especially with the amount of friction and discontent with the U.S. government right now. I don't think anyone would let that stand. I think
think
that might
it-
cause
I don't
If
think
it
that,
was
I don't
to
think that there's a
happen,
meaningful
we would-
distinction. Like,
I am.
I think you're finding a weird, meaningful distinction between rounding them up versus like killing them where they
Well,
stand.
I'm saying it's
So,
shorthand.
so
right?
real
Like,
fast.
for me,
So
it's all together. Like I'm saying it's shorthand when I say genocide. I mean you'd have to grab them all. You'd have to force them. You'd have to go find people who are of, I guess in this case LGBT. I guess you'd have to go find them, grab them, put them
You know
in
how
the
many
camp,
people
and
we
then
killed in
kill
the
them.
Middle East?
You don't
So
have
the
That's
term
not
Holocaust.
America.
So the term Holocaust.
That's what I'm saying.
derives from
It's
Greek
not happening
word
on this
meaning burnt
land. That's the
offerings.
distinction.
That's just
Oh,
so.
then we agree. I mean, as far as like killing people in other nations, oh, absolutely. I mean, I think that'd be pretty easy. I agree with you on that one. But in America, I can't imagine. I can't imagine lots of people just being killed in America.
You were about to say.
I mean, like,
I know
would
Mooncake
you
wanted to say something previously.
Okay, we're throwing the ball to you, Cook.
Oh, okay. So mine was kind of back to, let me just remember because I was just thinking about it. When Bam, this is before Bam said that he doesn't think like a Holocaust could take place like in America. I just wanted to go back to that because, like, for example, I believe at least in Canada, the last residential school, which is where they put like Indigenous students, a lot of them were killed as well, didn't close. And I believe until the 90s. Even right now, some Indigenous communities say there's still a genocide going on because the amount of missing Native women every single year, right? It's like a targeted attack. So what I'm saying, that's why I said with the right elements, this can definitely happen again. I think we have to recognize those signs, especially in a
No, I'm just
period
saying.
of
I just said that
economic
we don't have these signs now. I'm sorry to cut you
instability.
off. That's what I was saying.
Sorry.
I don't think we're at that point now. That was the only thing I was saying.
Oh, sorry, say that again. It cut out.
Yeah,
Not at the
I'm,
point right now.
yeah, I'm saying that like I don't like. Yeah, I believe anyone's capable of anything under certain conditions. I'm saying I don't think the United States, as it exists, has the conditions to like go killing a bunch of people for being gay.
And so that's where like I do push back a little bit because I worry about the economic stability because that's usually how it starts, right? And as we've seen, poverty in America is rising year by year. And when people become more economically unstable, they tend to blame another class, another race, things along those lines. So I'm
Wouldn't
curious
this
if
have
that
happened in the 80s? Wouldn't that have been like the prime, if you wanted to round up a bunch of gay people and give the best propaganda while they all need to die, wouldn't it have been like the 80s? Wouldn't that have been prime time to do it? The world was a bit more conservative. AIDS was a very popular thing. Everyone thought that gay people were spread. Like, wouldn't that have, if it was going to happen, wouldn't it now, like today?
No,
This
I
seems
don't.
like some.
Already
Now it
found.
sounds like you agree with me.
I don't think so.
They almost they
No, I was just saying it's not that I don't agree with you. I
No.
just think I think you were shitting on your own point. I was just pointing it out. But like, yeah, like I think the 80s would have been if you wanted to get gay people in internment camps and kill them and slaughter them and like round them up. The 80s, I mean, motherfuckers, we talk about motherfuckers was poor, crack was happening, crime bill was happening. I mean, gay people were spreading AIDS. Let people tell it. One of the like, there's so much shit you could use, and it didn't happen.
I don't think it would have been a time where you could do that. Like you just couldn't. But don't forget there were gay attacks. We can't call it a genocide, but people were. That was a time of like heightened, like homophobia, things along those lines in the 80s and 90s.
That's what I'm saying.
100%.
That's what I'm saying. Like we were way more homophobic then than we are now. Like it's not even a fucking. Like you know what I'm saying?
You need other conditions, right? I think though, let's be honest, if you start killing white men, and there was a lot of gay white men, people are gonna make a noise, they're gonna say something. Unfortunately, this usually goes after like the underrepresented classes, right? The marginalized. But even if you're a gay white man, like yeah, you still have issues, but not to the same extent as like a trans black woman.
I was just about to say before all this when I asked Bam to give me the rock to cook. I was gonna say like I think at worst case scenario before some shit like that happened, I think America would go to war with itself. There would be like some huge conflicts with people. Like we would see people fighting in the street before people are getting round up as a collective whole to be sent off to camps. Like this is still America. We're warlike people. Like January 6th just happened. We will fight with each other before some crazy shit happens like that. Like I don't think.
Yeah.
It's also not even it's not even like a niche political position to like have opinions about gay people. Like the position is moved from like don't be gay to like hey don't teach it to 6-year-olds. Like that's where they're and not even gay. Don't teach it to trans 6-year-olds. Like even the average conservative position is moved on.
I knew what gay was at 6, so you know it's all right.
Yeah, I'm not saying whether you however you feel on it. I'm just saying like when we talk about where the position is. Like on LGBT people, like killing them isn't even like part of the equation. It's just like that. I think that's a lost battle. Like or at least as of right now. Again, something could happen for condition to change. But I'm saying the America that exists right now couldn't get something like that off.
That's what
wasn't just the biggest beef Americans had with gay people was getting married, and we're like way past that. Like I don't.
But that was like 70 years ago.
I mean,
they're trying to get rid of it again.
Wanted to get rid of his next thing is getting rid of interracial marriage. So you know, and he's in a motherfucking interracial marriage.
Exactly. That's not gonna happen. Because you just said he's in an interracial marriage.
But like, I want you to understand. Like, I just feel like, and maybe this is arrogant on my part, but if we're like, hey, don't fuck each other, that's a bit away from Holocaust. Like, Holocaust is a bit like we are way past don't fuck each other. Yeah. Like they need to die. They are abominations unto God. Is Holocaust. You know what I'm saying? Don't fuck them is like, hey, they're them, we're us. Just don't fuck them. These are two bridges far from each other.
And I don't think that would happen in America. Not with the over sexualization of black men currently. That's probably never gonna fly.
You know what? Maybe like I could believe. I feel like you could maybe get like a group, and it might be a horrible event in history where like a group of people do some atrocious shit to gay people, American history. But like in 2023, you could see that. But like a gross, no, I don't think it. How? We don't agree on shit. That's one of the cool things about America is that like there'd be half the country ready to go to war about it. How the fuck would you get it off?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
No, I mean I think if you're asking how do you make it happen, like it's the same way most atrocities happen in the United States. Apathy.
It's a slow burn.
No,
yeah.
Let me
apathy is with the
let him cook. Let that nigga cook. Let that nigga prime cook.
Let me say it, and then you'll know what I'm saying.
My bad.
Yeah, it's apathy. People who could have done something, not doing something, not caring, and then there's of course ignorance when you just like literally don't know it's happening. That's the other thing, of course, right? Like during the Holocaust, like most Germans didn't know like that was a thing that was happening. They had no clue. Mm-hmm. They knew like the Jews were going away somewhere. They could see them being packed up. They see them being terrorized outside their communities. They knew that much, but that they were being killed in an industrial manner. Certainly not. And then there were a few who did know but like this is really my fight.
Yeah, and so I'm with you on that.
And so if there's a committed group of individuals who do want to exterminate some group, and you have a mass number of people who just don't put up a fight, well then there you go. You don't have to get people to agree.
No, Prime, I'm with you. Like, those are the ingredients needed. But I think that I would say, let's say 45-50% of the country are grossly invested into the well-beings of people that are a part of the LGBTQ community. Like, insanely so. Like, that's the one, this is like the one time I think radicalism is kind of cool. That we have people that give an over and over and over and over of a fuck. All right, and there is no way you can even convince them to stop slightly caring about this shit, let alone convince them that it's okay that these people are disappearing. And I don't think that's one or two people. I think it's a lot of people. That's why there's such political turmoil in America.
Yeah, no, I can agree with you on that point. I'm just saying that, like, I've just responded to a specific point about people not agreeing. Is that you don't need to get them to agree. That's all I'm responding to.
For sure, and it's also like definitionally, I would say that like when this position of LGBT genocide came about, like they're typically not speaking of the idea of killing them. They're speaking to the idea of, like I said, like schools not allowing it, basically creating a society that does something to create less gay people, making an active effort to create like let people being gay. That's the genocide. It's not about an act of like actual
the
violence.
Genocide is letting like trans people die, but because like they're not able to get like their health care and stuff, and like creating those legislations to prevent trans people from essentially existing the way that they want to exist in the world.
Yeah, like not covering like their surgeries. It's not like actual like you're dead. It's just
well,
we didn't
you
get
might
you
as
to be
well
a-
be, right? Because you're not able to do the things that you want. If you want to if you want to be a
Transition,
woman
yeah.
and you're a man, like you should be able to, but you know, the laws prevent you from going to go see an endocrinologist so that way you can get on like your HRT or what have you. Like you're not able to live your life the way that you want to based on those legislation. That's just like genocide there.
I think you're playing loose with the word there on that one. Oh, the genocide.
What the fuck was that? Please say that sentence again. What?
You're playing loosely. I speak
loose.
Negro. You're playing loosely with the words there.
Yeah.
To call that a
Oh,
genocide.
I say that sentence beat my
Yeah,
ass. I don't know
duh.
what the fuck you just.
Right, it's just true. It's some spaghetti. No, but yeah, I think you're being a little too flexible.
Is a sweater on? Is there vomit on your sweater already? I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No,
I'm
you and this
sorry.
Eminem.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You just got Eminem on your mind, man.
I'm sorry. I had.
So I just wanted to quickly introduce our friend Taj Bin John, who we have been missing for a very, very long time. It's been like what, a year or something? I don't know. It's been a long ass time since we've had you, buddy. How are you?
You're looking extra bald today.
It's been a minute. It's been a minute. Yeah, I feel extra bald today, you know. But yeah, thanks for having me. It's been a long ass time. Like I think like the last time like I hopped on was like probably in like June, so it's been like half a year straight up. But yeah, I missed everybody. Well, not the people I don't recognize, but everyone else who I do recognize, I miss. Yeah, I see Prime, I see Bam, Black American Made, okay, Razor Sharp Gaming. Yeah, I think I interacted with Queen like one time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was April
What's up,
actually.
y'all?
April's the last time we came on. Yeah.
April? Oh fuck.
Yeah.
I've been mega slacking.
I was about to say, if tomorrow, let's say, God forbid, I gotta find. Knock on wood, right? If there was like a law that said you cannot get any form of gender affirming care in America, I would assume most trans people would just be like, cool, there's this place. It's called Canada, right? There's other places I don't think that would have such a catastrophic effect. Call it a genocide. It'd just be a dick move.
Trans people are extremely damn high rates of poverty.
You can't like just automatically move to Canada or
Mexico. I didn't say move. I didn't say move. I didn't say move. I didn't say move.
That's exactly what you're referring. That hey, there's a place called Canada. There's a place called Mexico.
No, I'm not saying you can move to Canada. What I'm saying is I think people would be in a position where like, okay, they're not doing this here, so we have to go find this somewhere else while we continue the fight to get it back here. I don't think that it would be so extreme as to what we would call it a Holocaust. It'd be fucked up. It'd be another.
It'd be a Holocaust, a genocide.
Genocide, motherfucker. You know what the fuck I mean. Point being is, I think it'd be bad, obviously, but I don't know if I'd say that I would akin it to a genocide. Like,
sorry, what?
Per the definition, I don't think you would define that as a genocide. Like what Solus is saying.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
some
yeah.
people
That'd
would.
be
That's what I'm
fucked
saying.
up. Like that'd be a bad thing to do. That would be
Yeah,
something that would send
I
people to
would-
be politically involved and try to get the laws changed back the other way. But I don't think I would call that a genocide.
So it's two things. One, it's not a genocide, correct? But two, like that doesn't mean that if Canada is allowing it, doesn't mean that people can go there, right? Like that's not percent like that's an easy alternative or acceptable alternative. Like Bam is saying, a lot of trans people live in poverty, so they don't have they don't have that ability to do that. So that would just make it impossible, as DQ was trying to say, for them to live as themselves. So like I'm just trying to separate all these discrete things because I think we're all like mixing them up.
Yeah, like even if you don't use the word genocide, it would be more than just kind of a dick move, just because of the fact, like the reason they're in poverty, like as a class, it seems like almost is basically when it comes to hiring for a job, you see somebody that's trans versus a candidate that's not trans. Like a lot of people in America would just say, like, "Ooh, I just rather not deal with this. Like, I don't want to deal with the name. I don't want to deal with the politics. Like, I'm just gonna hire the regular girl. I'm just gonna hire the dude and just be done with it." So a lot of trans people end up having to like work in sex work, and they're like at high risk for trafficking and a whole lot of other things because they just can't get regular employment regardless of whatever else they got going on.
Scratch that.
Patrol's
Now
a
not
great
even thinking
movie
about
for
it. It
that.
would never. I don't. Again, back to the fact that America is always at a constant fight with itself. You can maybe get it to pass and like a right on a federal level, maybe. But even then, it would probably just be like you would be other states. Like it would just be America. Like we'd be fighting over it. It'd be beef. It'd be some states would be okay. It'd be some states where this would be bad. It'd be some states trans people are this and some states trans people are that. I'm just saying I don't like Prime said. I don't think I would call that a genocide. That's my only point.
Fuck, what was I going to say? I lost it. I mean, there's a federal ban. If there's a federal ban on that would be, an issue. Oh yeah, here's how I was going to go. I think there's also something different because Bass asked us, with our political climate, could you see this happening? Like actually carrying out a genocide, right? And I don't think he actually even specified which group, but he was asking, with our current political climate, is that a thing? So I think I would agree with them that I don't think, as things stand, there isn't. But that doesn't mean that people aren't trying to set things up where there could be extreme mass violence, right? Like when you start making this rhetoric that trans people are a danger to children, that they are this insidious force in society. Well, yeah, that's exactly the rhetoric you need. Like that's the precursor to mass violence against some sort of minority group. Exactly that. So if there, I think there's a separate question here. Is there a movement to make this happen, or not even like to make this happen, because that would imply like a purposeful. Like a purposeful push for that. I think that's true for some, but I think for a lot of people, like a lot of politicians, are just using it cynically, right? Like they don't give a fuck about trans kids, right? Like they don't give a fuck about like them in sports. They don't care about any of that, right? But they understand that you can get you can score political points for this, and so that's what they'll do, right? So like I think that's a different question about are can you see signs leading towards some sort of unfortunate eventuality.
Yeah, and it matters. It matters really, really heavily to conservatives. But just because you're just because you lean Democrat, like typically it's not a hill that a lot of people die on. Even if you're not anti-trans, it's just not like that. That's where the apathy you were talking about comes in. Like, do I really care about like the two trans girls in high school in Wyoming not being able to participate? Like, it's two people. I really don't give a F that much. And that kind of like that allows them to kind of pass it like here, there, build up some steam.
All right, I guess we solved it.
Yeah, good job, Razor. Going on in topics.
I have another topic.
Did you have to disappear to say it? Who the fuck is after you?
No, I was drinking some water. Okay, I don't drink water on camera. So I don't know if any of y'all have seen Move Back to South on Max. And basically what it is, and I would really highly I would say the doc. It's about essentially moving Black people back to the South to create political power. So it's moving back to like Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, and uh, uh, Maryland, but mostly the southern states, since because we moved during the Great Migration, after slavery, we essentially like dissolved our power, quotations around that, by moving up to the north. We can move back down to the south in these majority Black cities, in order to affect like political change, and claim our political power back.
You're
I
talking
give
about
that city
hot
3
Atlanta.
days before it's raised to the ground. I give it I give it a good year before it's
said
raised to the
raised?
ground.
And I mean,
Well, it
there are
wouldn't be one
people.
city, so
There
it'd be
are
like
people
states,
who
right?
are moving back. You know,
If
from like the guy who wrote the
are we
book
saying
and
like
did this
today?
documentary.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be like a slow thing. Like like he moved from New York to Atlanta. There's other people who are from the north who are moving back down to the south, like Atlanta
Are you
or
saying like in
Jackson,
2023 or
Mississippi.
like back in the day? Like if that never
Today.
happened.
Talking about now, yeah.
Today.
Now,
Oh,
now,
today.
yeah.
Okay.
I'm for
I
it.
guess
And I mean, like, there's even like he
Eh,
goes up to
yeah.
Chicago and like talks about like people who are there, and it's like we want to keep our communities here in Chicago, right? And this lady was like buying the block and stuff like that, and trying to like get people to come like stay in the
Uh,
city, right? But like there are like a lot of people who are moving back to South, but it's just a theory essentially. If we go ahead and actually do this.
so I'm sure Bam is for it. I mean, he's lonely down there in Georgia, right? He's looking for more Black women, really. But
You can't find a Black person in Georgia. What kind of
No,
nigga?
I'm about to
are
say,
you?
no, first of all, I can't, but no,
Bro,
I'm
that's
just saying,
Philly.
I think it would actually be, I think it would be really dope to, like, if there was like even one state, I don't even care if it was a small state, if it was Rhode Island, if there was a state in the union that was like over 50% Black, like the majority of the state was Black, I think that would be so interesting. I think the closest is Mississippi, and Mississippi's in like the
Yeah,
maybe
Mississippi is like
40s,
33%
33.
Black, I believe, and like he
the
goes on and
worst
like
state.
actually gives like the percentages in each
Mhm.
state, so that way you have like a visual interpretation of like where essentially you can like move, to affect this like long-term change,
No,
because
that would be dope.
if we think about it, like a lot of leftist people back in the 60s were told to move to Vermont, right? And so they moved to Vermont to affect political change, like a lot of like hippie white people, and then it affected the change that Vermont became left. So if essentially like Black people move back down to the South, we could essentially create the same thing.
Yeah, like we
Yeah,
have cities,
that
but it
would
would
be
be
cool.
crazy to have like just like so states where it's like, oh, okay, from the we can't control the federal government, but on the state level, like it's just black on black on black, like from and you don't have to be Black people in charge to be implementing like Black politics. Like it's just saying that like making us literally the face, because cities are limited in the things that they can do. Like they affect your day-to-day life more, but they're limited in like scale. Just through the budgets and different things like that. But yeah, like I think it would be really interesting to see what happens when like
Nah,
a
that'd be
state
dope.
has the power of like has to like primarily the primary interest of the Black vote, like
Uh,
from the healthcare system, etc.
Mooncake, you wanted to say something?
Oh, sorry, just because when Queen brought that up, they're doing something similar in Vancouver. In Vancouver, there used to be like more of a Black population, I think like in the 70s, 60s and stuff. But then through like mortgage issues, things along those lines, and like basically saying the community was dangerous, they bought out that community, particularly where the Black people were in Vancouver. And then they got displaced. So a lot of people left. But what they've noticed over the past like 5 years is that the Black people moving to like British Columbia rose by 38%. And that's like the biggest they've ever seen like since that time. And I noticed like they're starting to come back. Like they're starting to come back up here, which I thought was interesting.
I feel like if I woke up as a young Black man right now, and there was like an entire Black state and or city that I could go move to, it's like fucking 80% Black. Yeah, that'd be dope. And like the politically, it was geared for that. I can be assured that like my child's Black history class will be taught by a Black person. Yeah, that'd be cool. I don't know how the fuck you would do it or if it ever happened in my lifetime. Yeah, that'd be a cool thing.
Well, cities exist. I mean, you
Yeah,
got
I'd never
you
fight
got
that.
DC, Chocolate City. You got Atlanta. You got less so Philly, but Philly's still decently Black. Trying to think if you go further out. I mean, you got a lot of cities in Mississippi, in Birmingham, in Alabama, Mobile.
Hearing the right wing political discourse about it would be a funny time though. That'd be
That would be
hilarious to hear.
interesting. No, I
Hear
You know
niggas
what's
say-
interesting about the right wingers right now, or I guess like the past like 5-6 years,
Ooh.
there actually is an org dedicated to moving conservative families from bluer states to more purple or red states even, in regions, in hopes to kind of have like build up their voter bases. It's called like Conservative Move. You guys can look it up. And pretty much they like connect families to like different like real estate companies and different like moving agents and things like that to help sell people's houses and also buy houses in like more purple and red states. So it's kind of like the conservative version of what you guys are just talking about. I
That's
wonder how
cool.
this project's working out. Yeah, I'm well, I mean, is it cool? I don't know if it's super
That's
cool,
a
but-
crazy way to
No, I
figure out
think
where your
like
family
if
lives.
somebody wants to, I feel like if you have right wing political ideology in America and you want to take your right wing political ideology with a bunch of other people that think the same shit as you, I think that's your right, and that's probably what you should do, right? Like that's probably if honestly, if you have a lifestyle that's not like it can't get along with people with different political like it, then yeah, go with your folks and y'all do what the fuck y'all do over there.
Bam,
Well,
can
even
you
if it
explain?
isn't
Like you
about
said,
getting
that's a
along.
crazy
But
way.
Just on the
Bam,
flip side,
bam,
on the flip
bam.
side of that, I feel like that can get
Bam.
really scary.
What's up?
First, Taj, or you can finish your point, and then I'll yell out Bam.
Yeah. So responding to Solus, like that's an interesting idea, but I feel like it can also get kind of really scary because it's like the reddest of the reddest people. Because like you have to be X amount of red, X amount of conservative, be like, let me look up conservativemove.com and move my entire family to this one region because they have the same ideological belief as me, right? So like what's gonna like rise to the top in places like that? Is it gonna be more of like a milquetoast conservative, or is it gonna be like more of like a Charlie Kirk, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Lon Boebert, fucking Matt Gaetz ass conservative, Trump down to the bones type of conservative,
That would be interesting
Oh,
to
it's
see
kinda-
them duke it out with each
yeah,
other.
like-
That would actually be really
yeah,
interesting
what
to
if-
see which version of right wingers win.
That could get scary though, because
Unfortunately, right,
that means they can get their own senators eventually, their own. I mean, like even more of their own Congress people eventually have really strong voter blocks in their areas. It can get
Somewhat fortunately,
very wild. It
almost
can be
every
incubators.
single,
just like really
somewhat,
scary incubators.
somewhat
But check out
fortunately,
the-
at least,
Wait.
a lot of politicians who are running, like as if they're fully behind Trump or the Trumpers or people that Trump like endorses, they've been losing. So
So
good on that
Bam,
For
you said
now.
like
For now.
for now.
when Taj brings up
Yeah, the
like the
conservative
South
movement.
yeah, the South or moving conservatives to like proposal, you said like that's a crazy thing to do, right?
Mhm.
But then it's fine when Black people do that, they just move to like that's what you're gonna do. You're gonna
Oh
pick
yeah,
up your
oh yeah.
family.
I can explain the distinction between these two things. It's one thing to say that like, okay, I want to move my family to this like this Black state or this Black city, this Black thing, because like I'm gonna be able to find like my child's gonna be around people who, around other Black people. I'm gonna be able to find different levels of employment. Like there's gonna be better employment opportunities. All of these things versus like. And the way after Taj explained more, I could see like, oh, okay, I could understand that. Like I could get the idea of like I want to move somewhere where other people think like me. That's fine. But my original framing of it was like I'm moving somewhere that's like purple to make it a little more red. Like because that doesn't
that's a little-
necessarily
that's
that
a-
doesn't say anything else about like what the community's like. Like what if everybody else was blue, but like you know what? I just want to make it a little redder here. Like I wouldn't move somewhere just for a vote. I would move somewhere because, like, oh, okay, there's a broader, like, social thing going on. Which,
Like
it's interesting,
ideologically, you align with your environment.
yeah.
Um,
Does that make sense?
yeah, I mean,
I think another
yeah.
reasoning would be that like
Sorry, go ahead, Taj, you can go.
Oh, sorry about that. I think another reason would be like if black people wanted to move in a place to make it like at least 51% black, like say like Mississippi or Louisiana, just to build political power in the states. That's like more of a survival thing on some level. This is what Joe Lewis would say. Oh, and me too, me too. But like I think for conservative move, it's literally just like a power thing, not so much a survival thing. Like Brett, you're conservative America. I'm assuming that you're like white Christian, like a heterosexual family, like y'all should be like straight anywhere in the country.
I see what you
That's
did
more of
there.
like a preference thing versus anything else. Versus like literally like oh shit, like I want to like ensure there's like a future for my kids and everything like that, or that the country is like amicable towards minorities. Um, like I think the reasonings are different. It's kind of like well, did we go into interracial dating yet? Or I know that's coming
No,
up.
we didn't. No, we didn't.
Okay,
You're
never
jumping
mind.
in there.
Never. I'll save that for later on. I'll save it for later on. Then never mind.
Can I
Yeah,
pose a
that was my
question
thought process.
to the rest of you guys? Because as you say that, I think about like as a black person, I tend to, whenever I find myself in like I want to be around other black people, that's because I usually when I'm around other black people, I get to not be black for a while, if that makes sense. Like I deal with other things, but it's like I'm not a nigga no more because being a nigga is normal to everybody else. Like we're just if like two negatives make a positive type shit, like no one really gives that much of a fuck. You might deal with some colorism jokes here and there, but like I get to be just soulless again, if that makes any sense. And the idea of like moving to a city where that's the idea, like you going like don't get me wrong, you're not like going to Wakanda, but like the shit you would deal with where if you were black surrounded by a bunch of people that are not black, you don't have to deal with that here.
No,
For
I see
sure.
exactly what you're
Yeah.
saying. 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I've
interesting.
experienced something similar.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, you know that, you
I
said
put the trailer in the Discord. And if any of y'all want to watch it, let me know. I got HBO for a little while longer, and I'll let y'all hop on and
I got Max here.
watch
I'll
it.
definitely check it out. You should watch Rap
Yeah.
Shit while you got it.
Oh, rap shit is the fuck! Don't get me into
I
that
can't
shit.
Well,
wait
there
for the
you
new
go.
season.
There you
It
go,
came out
Bam.
already.
It's already out.
There you go,
It's
Bam.
fire.
Oh
Next
shit!
Don't
Yo, they ended on a
get into
cliffhanger
that
last
shit.
time.
I never heard of it.
I
but-
love rap shit.
It's
Issa
so
Rae's
good.
fantastic.
Oh, it's not Lisa,
Um,
right? Okay, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah,
yeah.
but like it's interesting. Like I said, every time like Atlanta has its own issues. Like honestly, one of the issues is it's too full. Like we need some more. Like we need somewhere else to go. But it's
Are you
interesting
live in
every
Atlanta
time.
or
No, I'm
Okay,
from
gotcha.
Georgia and I spend a lot of time in Atlanta.
Gotcha,
But
gotcha.
like every time I'm in Atlanta, like the interesting thing I see from like when I look at black people is like all of the other like all of the data that we see for a nationwide. Like although I'm sure if you look into the nitty gritty, I'm sure like you can see things like there's definitely homeless people, there's definitely like poverty, but like
Mhm.
seeing someone black doesn't necessarily tell you what their like class is, what
Mhm.
their economic class is when you're in a primarily black city. You're saying like, oh, okay, like there's tons of black people with money. There's tons of black like you walk into like a
Especially in Atlanta,
60
yeah.
a 60 floor skyscraper building, and it's like, oh,
Mhm.
okay, in most cities like it's gonna be white people, and you walk around, it's like, oh, wait a minute. A lot of people look like me in here. This is like interesting. I'm not gonna have to sell myself as the good Negro. Like I can just get a job, or like they have connections to like different things. Like it's interesting being in an ecosystem that allows for that. Allows for that. Like I think that's unique, and I think it is beneficial for the well being of black people long term to have places like that to go to.
I wonder how
Yeah.
I wonder what code switching would sound
Not
like in
being
that
able
city.
to tell a person's background just by looking at them.
Again,
Oh,
I
yeah,
said
I'm
on a
saying.
national scale you can do
This
that,
nigga,
Yeah.
but in the city,
Right.
Prime, you
I'm
a
just
nasty
saying.
nigga, bro. You know that? You's a nasty
got
nigga,
it.
though.
You got everybody. You got everybody of all classes. And yeah, you just can't tell. You just hanging out with someone at a bar or at a restaurant, and you don't know their class. You don't know what neighborhood they from. Like they just black and they're just existing in life. And I think that's
No,
a beautiful thing. I
I
haven't
think it's
experienced, but
But here's the thing: you can experience that in any city, right? You can just experience that. You can go around and like there are black people in my area, and I can go around. I can make assumptions, and then I can be wrong, like all the time, right? Like I'm just saying that maybe you never actually had those tools to begin with.
No, I think
And-
it's being wrong. I'm gonna
It's a different
pull the like soft thing. I think it's speaking from like a place of privilege here, because when there's
place of
there's
privilege. Oh boy.
yeah,
Oh.
yeah, because I believe like there's a lot of places where black people are. Like if you speak to, like I said, right, another example of a black city, Birmingham, or if you speak of, like Tupelo, Mississippi, or like Jackson, Mississippi, and you like, oh, okay, we go around like, oh, they're black people. You can't assume. Yes, the F you can assume. Like these areas are overwhelmingly filled. Like when you see black people, you see poor.
I get it. I mean, I know you do. It's very
No,
clear
I'm saying
that
because you
but
know it.
I'm just
Because they are.
to-
It's just
it's very clear that's
different
what you see, and that's okay. All right.
and you just like I have no idea. I bet you don't even see color, do you?
No.
I bet you don't problem.
We're
Yeah, like
learning-
I don't even see color.
We're
I'm
learning
just
all
saying.
kinds of things about
Mhm.
them today. But I don't know where to take this. Yeah,
What do you think about it, motherfucker?
Look at something. The white people in the chat. Stop looking at skin color. It doesn't matter. God, man, it's all that's what your chat doing. That's the type of community you cultivating.
Sorry.
I have a question.
go
Has
ahead.
anyone besides Bam, has anybody else lived in a majority black city?
I fucking wish.
Oh,
I fucking wish.
No, I've been
My whole
in
life.
majority black.
Wait.
Oh, actually,
No, hold on. Let me
is
see.
my city majority black? I don't know. It's a lot of black people in there. I actually
Yeah,
don't know.
No,
the
I'm saying
stats.
like a majority black.
Philadelphia,
like,
majority black.
all black.
Yeah, how many cities are majority black? I don't even know. Like, I don't
I
know.
lived
if
in
that's
Philadelphia
the
for
case,
2
so.
months last year.
Depending on
Let's see.
the part of Philadelphia you live in, definitely. But Philadelphia as a whole, I don't think. Like I said, that's why I say it kind of counts.
Yo, Philly has some weird relations with racism, though. It's weird, man. Like,
Oh no, I lied. When I was a kid, I lived in this place in this suburb city of Illinois. It was called Harvey, Illinois, and they are a majority black place. Good times. Good
I
times.
lived like basically my entire life in California, but I've had different I've lived in a bunch of different cities, so
Yeah, I've never
From what
lived
I
in a
always noticed.
majority black city. I mean, I'm also from California. I've lived here in Colorado. I mean, like my family knew what it was like when living here in like the 60s and 70s, so like what it was to be in like a black community, but I think that's still different than like living in a black city where it's like all you see are black people, all you experience is black people. Like something like what Solus was saying is like you didn't have to like worry about like seeing your color or like being around white people or whatever. It's like you see
Well, you
chocolate
can
city,
get
you
that.
just see
Can
white
I say
people.
something
Well,
that's
you
a
can
little
get.
bit fucked
Hold
up?
on 1 second. You can get
Right,
that
right.
without actually being in a majority black city, though, right? It doesn't have to be. You can just be within areas. Like what Bam was saying was that like
Yes.
there are just areas in certain cities that are heavily black, and then you can
Yeah.
go to school, work,
Those cities are very
and
verified, yeah.
live and die there, and then like just be living on black people the entire time.
But
Well,
it has a different influence on the politics of the city as a whole. Like
That's
there's a
different,
difference.
but that's not what she was asking
but
for.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You can get some experience of living around people.
I would just say
Yeah.
like I genuinely, because I think about all the most like fucked up racist things that happened to me because I was black. I don't think that, not that they couldn't happen to me, but I feel like if I was surrounded by black people, they wouldn't happen because I was black. Might happen because like, I'm a kid from the hood, poor as fuck. I've done some, some things in my life I'm not proud of, but like, I don't think people would look at me and be like, oh, you're black, so insert negative thing, right? Because that'd be something we share in common. And I think like, to Bam's point, there's like people who kind of don't get that. Like when a black person says, hey, I like to be around black people, they immediately fucking Nazi or segregation. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, the idea is that when I'm around other black folks, they tend to not look at me and think being black is a negative thing, right? Like,
if I can comment on that,
And
I
if
do
they
think
lived in
that,
I'm sorry, you got it. That's
yeah,
all right.
I do think that is one really sad thing between black people, and I'll say that I mostly see this with white people, that they don't understand how they're quote unquote normal. They don't understand how other they kind of make black people feel, how strange we are to them when really we're not strange people, we're just different. They don't
This is
really
gonna
they don't
glide
understand how
into the
valuable it is to kind of be able to go into a space, and just say how it is, and just relate to each other, and just have that ease and understanding of a similar, living like, for example, like me and Solus right now, we both experienced this, we both felt this. It's easy. We can talk about all these different stuff on these different topics that unfortunately sometimes with, like, again, mostly white people, you just don't have that ease and availability to. And a lot of white people, they don't get it. What they hear is, oh, so you're calling us racist? Well, it's not about you being racist. It's about a different life experience that you're honestly not having the empathy to kind of grasp and wrestle with. Because really, you should pause and say, that's a good point. Because Black people are different, and there are some things I don't understand, and I can understand why they would want to relate to people who agree with them sometimes. So I see Solus's point. I think he's making a great point here.
And white people, like, well, all races of people, but again, it always comes down to white people. But like, actually, everyone notices when, like, they can say like, oh, like, it doesn't matter, like, why are we advocating for segregation, all these things. But there's never been a white person in the history of the world that didn't notice when they were in an all black space. Like, they didn't feel comfortable, like, oh crap, like, it's just like, I didn't realize I was in one of those type of areas, and like, they might play it cool and it's fun to do for that day, but that's not going to be the lifestyle that they live. They get immediately, like, they're going to tell that story for the rest of their life. That's going to be one of the craziest days of their life. They just seen Black people.
I just thought about this because I was thinking about it, bro. Like, I remember in high school, I was in a very, very mixed high school. I think the minority people in the high school was Asian, but there was a lot of Black people, a lot of Hispanic people, a lot of white people. Actually, it was a good number of Asian kids, but there was like a ban on wearing do-rags because they felt like do-rags are what criminals wear, and that like kids would use do-rags to, I quote, cover their face while they commit crimes. And I feel like if I was in a Black school, I would never have to deal with I wouldn't be like arguing with my teacher. Like, no, I want to spin on these hoes. Like, I'm just trying to get Stacy got it going on. Like, I don't want to commit a crime because I have a do-rag. I don't think in a Black school I have to explain some shit like that. Yeah. I don't think a motherfucker would be like, I don't think my homie would have to fucking dreads because they look unprofessional. Like, shit like that wouldn't happen amongst Black folks, I don't think.
I mean, Black HBCUs be having like wave check days with like professors involved. Okay. like they like, like, hold on, like, I'm finna swim on these hoes myself. I'm finna spit on these things. I'm somewhat of a nigga myself. I've seen something. I know we're kind of at the end of this, but I seen something there. Well, most people probably heard the story about the kid. He's probably like 15, who got kicked out of school because he rocked like cornrows.
Like down in Texas,
or maybe it was braided dreads or whatever.
Yeah, and then he many kids, so it's not just one. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, but this kid's it's like a political thing for him, like, because he went back. Mm-hmm. He just got, like, he was like banned for like 3 months, and then he came back to school today, and like his hair is very neat, very well put together, like, freshly done, but it's just like braids. And he went back, like, I think last week, and they immediately like suspended him again. Which, to me, if I was like over a school, I would realize this is not a, like, I don't, like, regardless of how you feel about it, I would have realized with time, this is not a political battle I'm going to win. Like, I'm like, and history's not going to view me on the correct side of this. It's strange. Like, they're like, oh yeah, I didn't let a Black kid go to school because of their hair. Like, just look at the optics of it. Even if you quote unquote don't have a racist bone in your body, I don't see how this school couldn't see the optics of, like, this is probably not like the smartest thing to do. We probably should just let the kid go to school. But somebody at the school standing on business. Somebody got their foot down. Yeah. And they like,
oh no, folk kind of crispy. Hold on. Shit to look like that.
Listen, I hate all of these like rules and regulations on kids that say you have to like have your hair not below your ears. I posted the article in chat. But it's like, dude, just let kids fucking be kids. Like, if they want long hair, they can wear long hair. Why are we playing motherfucking respectability politics on kids, and especially Black kids, right? Because if we knew this was like an all-white school, right? Well, there could be like young men who would like have their hair long, have their hair short, and it wouldn't be a fucking issue. But because this is like a Black kid, and probably a lot of Black people go to this school, just because he has locks, it is like not right. And especially with the Crown Act, right? We shouldn't be having these discriminations based on like the texture of your hair. Like, his hair is fine. It's beautiful. Those locks are beautiful. Right? And there's nothing.
I ain't gonna hold you. He kind of, this motherfucker got super shit. Like, he nodded. Like, this is actually crazy. They even made him do this to his hair. Cause how the fuck he wrap his shit like that, bro? Yeah, that's crazy. Like, tied up. Like, I done seen motherfuckers how they braid, but that's crazy, dog.
His hair is beautiful. I'm here for it. I love locks, right?
Hey man, it's not racist. Look, man, hold on. Can I give you the obligatory? Look, it's not racist. It's just unprofessional. There's nothing to do with the color of his skin. If a white kid had that same hairstyle, we would kick him out.
Uh,
I'm done. I'm
Uh,
done with this. I'm done.
Taj is like, man, you haven't seen me when
Yeah.
I get my shit
Crazy
done,
hair.
right? He's like, you haven't seen it. You haven't seen the magic yet. But he's holding out on us.
Tosh, honestly, honest question. About to say, is being bald, is that freeing?
You're muted, friend.
You're muted.
I thought he was just on his lag. I thought he was 10 minutes later.
Oh, my bad. I'm muted. My bad. My bad. Yeah, like it's actually kind of meditative, man. Like I shave like once or twice a day, and like whenever I do, it's like a like head meditation. It's like giving yourself a head massage. The way I set that shit up
Every day?
so it's pretty nice actually. Once or twice a day, yeah.
That's crazy. I know people do like a week, like a day, twice a day is insane.
A
You doing it like when
week?
people rush their-
Oh, I
rush their
could
teeth.
never do a week.
Well, he
like,
doesn't want to
you
be.
shower
Oh,
and
that's
you like
too long.
Well, he doesn't
Taj, I
want
have a
to be
question for
crowning,
you.
right? Because if you do, right, like they
Yeah,
have,
of course.
and they have those new razors, right? That like they're like the multi like studded razors, and like you just like rub them on your
Yeah.
head like really
3
quickly.
points. Yeah,
Yeah.
those don't work super well on me. I've never tried those on my head. I just use like a standard like I use either Dollar Shave Club or Harry's or
Really,
Gillette.
yeah.
Put some shaving cream on there. Swing,
Yeah,
swing down.
there's
to, like,
there's
the
electric
back.
razors
I
that
have
are
a
really
question
good.
for you.
But yeah,
Were
but if
you-
you want like a tight one, like a really
Yeah.
close cut, then yeah, you got to do the razor.
Were you
Yeah,
going
I go super close
bald?
cut.
Like, and that's why you shaved your hair, or were
Yeah,
you
I
just
was.
like,
I was.
I'm gonna shave it because
Oh.
I feel freeing as a bald person?
Yeah, so my
had
aunt
Vegeta.
warned me about this like 20 years ago. She was like, I had this issue since like third grade called like triloticlomania. It's where you pull literally out of boredom or in your sleep, you just pull pieces of your
I
hair.
have that. I
So,
have
like,
that.
I
I do
do-
that. I do
understand.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had a bad habit of doing it like right here and like right here. I
Yeah.
started doing it, and then like it just stopped kind of growing at like weird areas, and I'm like, oh
Yeah.
fuck. But like it gets bad. Like I had a beard like a week ago, and I would just like I'd be like, I want to pull this off so bad. I'd start pulling pieces of the beard off.
Yeah.
Like you start
Yeah.
pulling out your pubes and shit. It's so weird. It's like I
Oh,
don't
that-
know.
Were
It
you
doesn't
Mario for
hurt?
Halloween a lot of
Mine
the
is
time?
exclusively just to my
Um,
head.
Does it not
Or
hurt?
like, yeah.
Can I just
that-
do a little
I'm a
disclaimer?
Viltrumite.
But did it didn't it hurt, Taj? Like, does that not hurt when you do it?
Like pulling your hair out.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good pain.
Yes.
You know, it does. It
hurts.
does hurt, but you still feel compelled to do it.
Yes.
It's so weird. And I've had it since
Yeah.
like third grade.
Oh.
And like it just started like going where it's like, okay, it got real fucking dicey right here. And baldness doesn't run in my family. Like my brother, my uncle, my dad, they all have hair over here. Just like for me, for some
It
reason, it
recedes.
just it's having a growth issue right here. And I'm like,
No, I do I
I've
do
seen
that
where
too,
this
but just
training
at like my
comes off.
underbeard. One, because like I never like I'm always like I think it's gross when you people start getting like the neck beard, so I'll pull them like intentionally. But like it also like it's like a good hurt. Like it's like ooh it hurt, but when you get it, yeah, it's like a satisfaction of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
like
tr-
pulling
I
a
think-
scab or something. Maybe I
Yeah.
don't know how to describe
If
it.
you're a man and like you're going bald, rosemary oil and finasteride is what I learned. Finasteride apparently is very helpful, like very, very helpful. It's like a
Did
medication.
you have a
you take.
nigga in your life
Yeah.
that you didn't want to go bald? You were trying to save him?
I feel like
You're
this is
trying to
only
keep-
I need to try finasteride.
Yeah, like, I've seen
You-
it
you
on
gotta be
skincare,
careful.
like
You gotta be-
subreddits.
You got to be careful with finasteride.
I might just go to
It
Mexico
can
get some
cause
hair plugs.
Yeah, I feel
erectile
like very few things
Uh,
actually like very few things actually bring back hairlines. Like oh, just
Oh,
rub it in.
It actually does.
Bass.
I was dealing with hair loss for a while. And my hair's starting to recover. So there's a couple of things. One, I avoided finasteride because it can cause erectile dysfunction, and that can last for a very
You'd rather
long
be
time.
bald than not have your
It
dick.
also, I'm gonna be fair, you know, but also it can also takes a little bit while to work. What I looked into is like 5% of minoxidil can help spark your hair back up, but if you get on minoxidil, you kind of have to stay on it. In my research,
I think
the
same thing with
main
like
cost-
Rogaine, right?
Yeah, I didn't look too much into Rogaine though, but I did look into you're saying about rosemary and peppermint oil. So I saw some studies show that works very similarly similarly to minoxidil. And so, from what I understand, and I might make a YouTube video about this to help other guys out, when you're dealing with like alopecia, like arete, and not really like male pattern baldness. Male pattern baldness, when you start losing like your hairline, it starts moving back. That's irreversible from what I've seen. But if you're dealing with like alopecia and it's like spots of your hair and it grows, that seems to either be an autoimmune problem or a lack of blood flow and nutrients going to your scalp. So what minoxidil does, interestingly enough, is it increases the blood flow to your scalp. Same thing with rosemary, same thing with peppermint oil. It's getting that blood flow back in there, getting that nutrients back into your scalp, so your body kind of does what it's supposed to do. So another thing, one last thing, which I would swear by, is collagen, collagen, collagen. Get more collagen in your diet. Take collagen supplements. Eat foods that support collagen, because that's what your hair is made of. That's what your nails are made of. That's what your joints are made of. So as you get older, your body starts producing less collagen. So like when I'm around 25, it starts going down. So collagen, collagen, collagen. And I think that's probably what you should work on before like you get on to finasteride. I think that's kind of at the end of the line for what in my research at least.
I could see that thickening up spots, but yeah, I was speaking to like hairline
More collagen,
replacement.
you're right.
What this is probably
Sorry for speaking a lot, but I did a lot of research.
No, that's useful. And if that's something, and like alopecia can like show up later in life, and that might be information. Like you should make that video. Like that actually might be really, really great for people to gather that information in one spot. So thank you for that.
Base, like the men's care, that niche is growing a lot on YouTube right now.
There's two things. One, I saw on Instagram there's like a new technique. Once like when you're giving up on everything that Bass has just said, is where they're like I think it's basically like tattooing your head. Like it makes it look like it's like shaved, but it's like little like tiny little dots on your head. Yeah, I've seen that.
I heard that it looks really good from what I've seen. I might do that. It costs like I think like $3,000 to $5,000, but it's cheaper in Mexico. Everything's cheaper in Mexico. So,
but you look, I don't know, you look really good.
You have the handshake for it.
Yeah,
thank you.
Yeah, I think you're a handsome dude.
Thank
so
you.
I think you may need it.
Oh, thanks, man. You too, man. You too.
Oh, thank you.
Black men loving black men.
Yeah,
I'm here for it.
We love to see it.
Yo, we had a good day today with the Jonathan Major shit, right?
That was the only other thing. Obviously, we don't really have time for it, but that like in the 2
we
minutes,
don't have time. Never mind.
It's kind of crazy. I don't know what's going on. Like I'll say this. Like I think based on the text was an L. He hit the girl at some point. He put his hands on her at some point, clearly based on the text messages. But it doesn't mean he hit her that night. That's the only thing. We haven't confirmed that he hit her that night, but it's like, I don't know. Like he ran off. She was chasing him through the streets of New York. Like he was a Batman villain.
I haven't followed whatever recent thing just happened in the case, but they don't really. In the end, with the way how like juries work, he doesn't have to have hit her that night, right? Like, because I do think he did. I think at some point he certainly did. But like, let's say he didn't do it that night, and whatever happened was completely justified. All you gotta do is paint him as the type of man who does hit women, and then that'll be good enough. I mean, like, what was wrong for? Our aim is wrong here, right? But we're aiming at the right target, so like he can still be found guilty, if the prosecutors can paint him as a danger to women. So.
Yeah, you didn't read them text messages? Like he was, like I said, I think he was just like off the steroids. I think he was juicing, and that led him to like, Roy Rage punch it.
If it's something recent like just came out, then no. But previously, I have read the other ones. Sure.
Look, I've worked in entertainment for close to 10 years at this point. The nicest people on camera, the people that seem like they be super nice people, are the biggest assholes. I believe Jonathan Majors was like a massive asshole to his ex-girlfriend, to multiple exes before her. I don't think he hit her though. I don't believe that. I just think he was an asshole. Like that's everybody in showbiz. If they're a nice person on camera, Ellen DeGeneres, certain people I've worked with, like IRL and shit, like assholes behind the scene.
Wait, did you hear? Did you see the text?
No,
the Michelle Obama one is that the
no,
Michelle Obama?
Not the Michelle Obama. That was the recording of him. Like, yeah, that was fine. The text messages are literally him saying like, you go to the hospital. I'm gonna kill myself. Like she's like, I'm sorry. I
Oh, what
gotta
the
go."
fuck?
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
like, I'm a terrible person. I'm
I
a
didn't know
monster.
shit about
Why
the
do I keep
hospital.
doing this?
Yeah.
Like he's like, why? You know, like, well, I don't know why I keep doing this. No one can love me because I'm a creep monster. Like, he was like going in. I was like,
What the
okay,
fuck
yeah,
is-
he hit her. He hit her that night.
He hit her.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah,
but that
so
was like
this
6
was-
months ago.
Yeah. This was a while ago. But hello.
Wow,
Hey.
I feel like I'm like 8 energy levels too high for this. Like, everyone is like really focused in the moment. What y'all talking about?
We're talking about Jonathan Majors right now.
Jobs and majors?
No, Jonathan Majors,
Jonathan
like the
Majors, the
actor.
guy, yeah, one
Like
of the
Kane the
Creed
Conqueror
3.
dude from Marvel and shit. Like
Yeah,
the
Kane
dude
the
is like,
Conqueror too, yeah.
yeah, like I
He
have it on
can't
the
hear you,
earphones.
Bass.
You know, like
Oh, my bad. I thought someone else asked.
Yeah.
No,
By the way,
I
hello.
don't know who I don't even know who Kane the Conqueror.
Yeah, only
Or
black people care
Kane
about
the-
this.
it's like I'll see you guys. See you guys next door.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, it's all good, man. I didn't know you were here, man.
No, I
Like,
was
what the
just pointing
fuck?
I didn't invite you out.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Did you get that nigga? Oh,
I'll
you
be back
here?
for, like,
Oh,
okay.
soulless. Oh,
I'm
my
sorry.
God.
That's your
Uh,
man.
It's
Sorry about
sorry.
that, y'all.
If there's anything I got is jokes. I'm sorry. I was racist.
I wanted to ask, and I mean, we're gonna transition to the other topic, but like this might I don't know if there's enough here for a discussion, so I'm just gonna get the temperature of the room. Because Bam and I discussed this previously. Do
Okay.
you think that like baldness on women is feminine?
Yeah,
It can be.
absolutely. Like you see it in people in Africa where the hair is short or bald, and I mean I wear my hair short with my trichomania here. It's getting really crazy. So I'm about to cut off all my hair and be bald again. Like I do it pretty much once a year. I can't stand my hair being in the afro. But like yeah, like I think it's very feminine. I think it's very beautiful. It's hot, like, you know.
I would.
Okay.
So if I could give my real honest answer, I think yeah, I don't really think your hair necessarily matters, but if you ugly and you bald, I think that's where we get into some other shit there. Right? I think it really depends on the prettiness of this individual. I'm not gonna hold you. I don't think it necessarily matters though the hair. Like Amber, I don't think anybody looked at Amber Rose and was like, "That's not a feminine looking woman," because she's pretty in the face. You know, I think your face kind of sells it or loses it.
For sure.
Mooncake, you were gonna say
I think
something?
it's an interesting point.
Oh, if you've seen Miss Angola 2023, she's bald and she's absolutely gorgeous, extremely feminine, like absolutely gorgeous. So I think women definitely can be bald and be
The woman in
feminine.
Black Panther.
Even if you look her up, she's beautiful.
I
Has no hair.
I like I mean we've had this discussion before. I like girls who rock the shortcut, like the little buzz. I don't know.
Yeah,
Like
like pixie cut.
yeah, I not even shorter than that. I like a girl with a fade. I can get with
The
it.
Eve joint with
But-
the lineup.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I like it. But they're going full bald. It just depends on the girl. Like I think women's heads are shaped more eggy, right, for some reason. So I don't
Black
think that
women.
many women
That's
have
funny.
a good head shape for bald, for
Dang,
like
bro.
full
You
baldness.
said you an alien.
No, I'm just saying. I think
You
most
said you a
women's heads are shaped a little more
xenomorph.
eggy. But like
I'm joking.
the women who got the good head shape, and like yeah, I'm for it. It was a girl on The Voice a couple years ago that was bald, and when I tell you this woman was fine, this woman was a different type of fine. Like all of that, I would have like palmed her junk if I had the opportunity with love, nothing but love. Like pull my hair, I would have been on there like a basketball. Yeah.
Bass, your thoughts?
That was a crazy time to
Uh,
cut off Bam, but all right.
I'm not really fond of bald ladies. It's not the worst thing, but I'm not fond of it. I do like it can be like short, like kind of like a bob cut kind of deal. It can kind of be like a little bit of a pixie cut. I can deal with that, but not straight bald. I don't. That's not my preference.
I mean,
Ram agrees. He hates
personally,
women.
I mean, personally, for
like
me,
Amber Rose. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay.
Razor?
No, go ahead. You're finishing up with it.
Bass?
like Amber Rose, like someone posted a little gif here. Solis posted a little gif. She's got a little bit of hair coming back, but I would like it if it flowed, like that feminine that flow going on there. You know, I don't.
Okay.
I'm not fond of being bald.
Razor.
Personally, yeah, it definitely can look good. When you guys were saying about it, my first thought was the women in Black Panther. I literally I had to look at their name to be sure. Miss
Look at
Lupita
that look on Solis'
Nyong'o.
face.
I forget her.
No,
I'm not sure.
yeah,
Nyong'o.
yeah, from the Walking Dead.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
we know.
Yeah,
Lupita's not
they
Walking Dead,
like
is
they yes, it can
Yeah,
definitely
actually,
look
it
good.
was the woman in Walking Dead. She's
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I don't think that's Lupita. I think you're mixing up.
she definitely is. What's her face? She's one of the guards.
Yeah, the head of the guards was in
Yeah.
Walking Dead, but that's not Lupita.
yeah,
But,
but
yeah,
but
Lupita does
beside the point.
rock a bald head a lot of the time.
Yeah,
That was
Lupita's the
Lupita?
girl
Yeah.
from Us.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah.
Hold on.
But,
Maybe I'm wrong. Huh? I'll have to look it up. But I'm pretty sure she was one of the part of. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, a lot of
Keep
the
going.
So yeah,
Mirage
they can.
were
So
fine.
yes, they can. So yes, they definitely. They definitely can look damn good with no
Lupita's
hair.
sexy.
I have been to my grandma's church. I've been to my grandma's church where some of the women who are around my age, also
You was out
were
there.
rocking
You
the
was looking
hairstyle.
for you was looking for them things at church. You fucking sinner. What the?
That's where you find them at. God-fearing woman. I see you.
Yeah, she is in
no,
Black
my grandma
Panther.
Dra-
I
no,
am
my
right.
grandma Drat.
Yes, but that's
My
not who you
grandma
were thinking
tried.
of. You said Walking Dead. I was
Yeah.
the guard.
My grandma dragged me
That's
to
not
her
Lupita.
church and just happened to
Like,
be
you
one
was
of the
at
people at her
church and you
church
was
who
like,
that.
damn. I'm saying,
I know,
Sister
I can say they
Patterson.
look good. I can say they look good, but I would say I'm more with Baz on the. I like the hair. I have a thing for hair. Like I like running my fingers through my girl's hair. I like just like caressing whenever I get the chance. I myself have my own little wigs and stuff that I wear because I like I like hair. I like the hair. It just feels nice. It feels nice. It looks nice. I can style the stylizations you can do with it. That's just me
Do
personally.
y'all
though,
think
but
the
it
body
can
at all
definitely
plays
be done.
into that? Because like I feel like if you were like I think big reason why I work so like people like Amber is a porn star and thick ass Daphne. She's famous for having a body, and it's like, but they're both thick as fuck, right? Yeah, like
I think that's a
if
con-
you,
All
Sorry.
right.
I feel like
Yeah,
if you
it's Denai Garura. You're right. Fair enough.
if you were like if you had a bald fade, right, and you didn't have any breasts and you didn't have any hips and you didn't have any ass, and like I could get what y'all was saying. I see how you can say like, okay, that's masculine
look
looking,
good.
but
That looked like a
Maybe-
cancer patient. If
Yeah.
you just
That's,
a woman like that, no offense.
Slim Woods. Slim Woods is
That's
kind of like
fuck-
that. She's a head and she's
Nah.
beautiful.
I'm telling
Who?
you.
Or Slick Woods? Slick Woods? Slim Woods?
Her name is. I just
Slim
found her.
Woods?
This girl's name is Cedrice, and she ain't really got
then-
body.
but then-
Her body ain't hitting on nothing like that. I'll drop her in the chat.
So my question is, wouldn't you just kind of be saying that they're so attractive it almost doesn't matter what they do? Like at that point, it's just like
that's why I genuinely like that's why I said I wouldn't even. I think hair doesn't.
even matter. You know?
You know what I'm saying? Like your hair doesn't even matter. Like if you have a really pretty feminine face, I don't think no, I don't. You could be bald. I've seen it. Like I've literally, matter of fact, my entire life, the only girls I've ever known to like just go full shave the shit off like Eve are the prettiest women I know. Right? You can be bald, you can be whatever you want, but if you're pretty in the face, mainly maybe if you got a nice body, I've never known a motherfucker to be like, you know what, can't do it. She's bald.
look at Egg.
Okay.
Trust, I am beautiful and bold.
Denai
It's a
Gurira.
nuanced answer on that one.
Yeah, I said that. Yeah, I said it before. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
my bad.
No
Yes.
problem.
I think the face matters a lot when you go bald. Sorry.
I was gonna ask Taj. I mean, like, is it like with you? Is like, well, like one of us needs to have hair in this relationship. So.
Hell no, get that nigga prime, but don't talk about you like that.
But go ahead, Taj.
Yeah, I think the face matters a lot. The face card is super important when you're bald, especially as a woman. If that's So I think facial hair needs to like be like gone, you know? That just needs to be out of there. Because like most women's faces like look very womanly when you take a look at it, right? The
I mean, they
feminine
are
face is the
women.
thing.
I
So
would.
yeah. So like, I think the face card matters a lot. The face card like just goes into overdrive when the hair's not there. But yeah, that's my take. But body shapes, body shape doesn't really matter too much. I've seen women that are like really, really, really big, but also just like one solid block, rock the ball pretty well. I've seen women that are like curvy walk, of course. I've seen girls that are like pretty skinny, like pretty slender, but also were able to pull it off pretty well. Like there's like a girl that I saw the other day at the gym, and she was like bald, and she didn't have any curves. She was like really slender, like a runner or something, and it worked
Was
out
she
really well
spinning
for
on
her.
these
She looks
hoes?
really good. Was that what?
She spent it like okay, just to the point, like though. But if you saw your girl like undo her do rag or like brushing her shit in the middle of a conversation,
It turned me on. I ain't gonna lie to you.
It depends on the head shape.
We need
Yeah,
to
it
go
depends on the
somewhere.
head
That's
shape.
so
Like,
real.
look-
That is so real.
like,
But I also,
I've
this is
dated
the
girls
other
with,
thing. I
really
have like,
short hair.
to add in, I'm about to say, I don't consider this gay at all,
Hey.
but I got a little bit of like a stud fantasy as well.
Yeah,
so that might be
that's
part
what
of
he
it.
does.
Yes, it's not
Yeah.
gay.
Oh my god.
Oh, you too, Mooncake?
Love
You
a
like
stud. Yeah,
masculine,
love a stud.
Mhm.
okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to be that lucky one or two
What does that
guys in a
usually
stud's
mean?
Like Duke on
Got a stud
rap
left hit.
shit.
Yeah.
I Duke could get it.
You'd fuck her hella.
Mm.
Yeah. That's a weird way to say it. But yeah, I would. I'll fuck her hella.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And you say
So
Mooncake, you
weird.
agree with that?
Yeah, who doesn't love a stud? Like there's just it's hard to explain. They have like masculine energy, but also like a feminine energy. It's like really hard to describe.
Nice.
all the
It's like the
studs I
best of
know
both
is
worlds.
all the
I need
studs
a-
I
I
know
need
is
a
street
lead.
niggas, bro. I
Nah,
don't
that's
know
what it
these
look like,
masculine,
bro.
feminine studs
Yeah,
that y'all talking about.
It's really
I need a
STEM
lady.
would be the correct term if
Like-
you like in the
Oh, okay,
industry.
all the studs I
Pretty
know was
good.
about that action on Funnel.
Like,
That's one of the guys.
You know, Katie the Don? That's like up my alley.
Katie
know her?
did. Hold on,
Oh,
let me
I
go
know
with
you're talking. Okay,
Yeah,
it took me.
she-
So would you
I've never
consider
heard that.
Young
I've never
M.A.?
heard that terminology.
Nah, Young M.A. is
That's a stud. No, there we go. No, that's what I think when I think stud.
Young
That
M.A.
right
looks
there.
like- brolic for me.
No.
Mm.
Yeah,
So-
I
I
think
think that
it's STEM.
she's too brolic. I think that 070 Shake is like really oddly enough, I think she's really handsome, like in an Ellen DeGeneres way. That I find like alluring.
Ellen DeGeneres is handsome.
I see what he's saying.
Yeah, she's like
I would say
and,
handsome
like,
more than pretty if you was gonna
she's
describe.
I
charismatic,
see what
you
you're
know,
saying.
but like in like a feminine way. Ellen DeGeneres.
She
is
clean.
Yeah,
I guess she be
like-
dressing
like-
clean.
like a
Clean,
handsome white
handsome.
like
man.
10 years younger and
That's
like
a handsome
on
white
you at the
man.
bar.
Mm.
Like you wouldn't like if nobody was looking, you wouldn't like shmell one
10
time,
years
you know
ago,
what I'm
if I
saying?
met Ellen DeGeneres at the bar, I'd be like, holy shit, Justin Bieber grew up fast as fuck, my nigga. How you doing, dog?
That bitch, you be like, what is this smell? What the F is that smell? I heard her breast stink.
So I guess if we ever so
what?
it's interesting if we to hear all these opinions. So if we ever do have this conversation, I guess I'll be the only one to defend traditional femininity, but it's okay. We'll we're past that. I'm curious if the other regulars of Abe would agree. But yeah, maybe there's enough. But it's just gonna be me against the world. That's fine.
That's all right.
It is what it is. Let's continue. So, topic 2. Recently, and before we do that, if you guys want to support the channel, if you like what you heard so far, been having fun with this community, hit the follow button in case you haven't done so yet, and consider supporting us by subscribing. If you got Amazon Prime, says Prime Gaming, use that one free sub. Here it's free for you, but it does help out this community. Allows me to do all of this. If you're on YouTube or Twitch, consider a super chat or a hype chat. If you want to ask something, if you got a comment or a question, want to get into the panel, that's the way to do it. So yeah, please consider helping out this community so that we can continue to help out you. All right, so let's move on. Topic 2. Recently, a controversy. Sorry, it's like noise in my in my place, and I can't control it right now. Recently, a controversy erupted on Twitter over the picture of a football player and his young daughter. The football player is a biracial black man, and his daughter is very fair-skinned. The original poster claims the child is white, and that it's delusional to think otherwise. Opponents argue that the child must certainly be black because of her father. Where do you stand? If a person has some significant amount of African heritage, does that make them black, no matter their outward appearance? Or do you think that a person must be phenotypically identifiable as black to count? At some point, can the blackness be bred out of a person, or does the one drop rule always apply? And shout out to my man Joe Lewis. Unfortunately, he couldn't be here, but he was the one who brought this to my attention. Real homie, as always. But yeah. So it's I literally don't even know the name of the
Right back.
football player.
Patrick
Um,
Mahomes.
Sorry,
Yeah,
what?
Patrick
Oh,
Mahomes.
Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes.
Probably
Oh,
the greatest
okay.
quarterback in the world.
The Chief, right? He plays
Kermit the
for
Frog
Chiefs.
got a mixed
I-
kid. That's
I thought it-
adorable.
Was it the Chiefs? I thought it was the 49ers. for
Chiefs,
whatever reason.
Chiefs.
Okay. Fair enough. Yeah, I don't know anything about sports ball, but yeah. So anyway,
Sports ball.
he's a handsome, good-looking guy. And he is in the picture. He's just holding up his little girl, and she's a toddler, like 2, 3. And she has like blonde hair and I believe blue eyes. And like this woman commented that you're kind of delusional if you think that this is a black child, right? That wasn't her exact words, but that was her attention. And then a very long Twitter fight ensued over this, and this is a perennial fight within the community, right? As to who counts, who gets to be a part of this, who gets to get that label, and there's like hurt feelings on either side about this. So I just wanted to really explore this. Let's do something different. Let's start with Razor, and we'll
I
go.
knew it. Fuck.
And it's your time to shine, kid. Put your ball in your hands. I expect some buckets.
Okay, start with me. Obviously, as everyone can see me, hi. I am also a biracial black man, half black, half white. Father's side is the white side. Have yet to meet his family. I only know my black side of my family. I obviously qualify as black because my skin is somewhat somewhat tanner than the average white dude, and my hair gives it away massively. Obviously, if I didn't have the type of hair I had, I could easily pass as just a white dude who's really good at tanning himself. That's just the way it is for me personally. So when I see the little kid and everything, Patrick Mahomes' kid, definitionally, yes, she would still be considered black or African American, considering who her parents are or who father is. Now, culturally speaking, based off of how the community will look at her when she grows up, it depends on how she is gonna identify. She'll probably stick with just saying that she's mixed race. She'll say, "Hey, my dad's Patrick Mahomes, so I am part black, like how I do when I say I'm part white when I talk about my dad." So it's gonna this will be a fun topic, especially considering it's so close to home for me. Let's see what goes on from here.
All right, we'll go clockwise. Let's go to Bass.
So, looking at that picture, I would immediately think that that baby was mixed. Not just because obviously her dad is mixed and holding her, but just kind of phenotypically, it doesn't really look like a white person. I really have a good memory and kind of understanding of like faces and facial structure. So for me, this is just kind of like instantly I can kind of see the differences and similarities, between like races of people, but not like in a racist way, but just more in an aesthetic way. So I would immediately think that that baby was mixed. Also, I have 2 younger cousins that are a little similar. They're twins, and they looked a little similar to her when they were like 4, 5. So to me, I do think it'd be a little weird if someone looked at the baby and immediately thought that she was just straight white European. That's not really a European phenotype. Um, I do think one thing that is kind of interesting is one thing that I think is interesting is black people have in my entire lifetime always been very accepting of mixed people because other races kind of aren't. I say other races, really more white people who kind of really aren't. Um Most white people would not accept her as white if she didn't have the blonde hair and blue eyes. Let's say she had brown eyes but blonde hair. She's not getting thought of as white just looking like that. It kind of is only the eyes that really sell it for some people, which kind of really goes to show how much they don't really think about race that far as much as just what they think it should be versus like genetically and phenotypically what we're actually looking at. So yeah, I think it's weird if someone says that that's a white baby, but I think that kind of really says a lot about how people look at race.
Gosh.
Yeah, so I think at some level down the line, like you could like just lose like your stand, like not your stance, but like your classification as black. I don't know if it's with this baby or if this baby like were to like become an adult, like procreate with someone that was like completely white and it'd be that baby. But down the line, it is something that happens. But at the same time, if that kid gets acknowledged as black, and that kid's black. Like race is like a very social construct. It's not something that you can just like boil down to the phenotype. Be like, oh yeah, this person's black, this person's white. Like that's just not really how it works, you know. It's very possible that this person that this kid like could have like kids down the line that are like much darker than she is, despite even having like a white baby daddy. It's weird to like talk about a kid's life like that though. Like it's literally a toddler. Um, I think that I think that the idea of like, oh, this person's light skinned, so they're no longer black. I think that's like a really toxic idea. And it doesn't work to serve people at all. Not in like I don't think it serves white people or serves black people. I don't think it serves anybody, not even mixed people, to be this so like strict about like what someone who's black or white is. I think it should be more flexible in that. I know it's like not defined. I know it's like kind of like a not the most clear cut, rigid answer in the world, but I guess it's not the most clear cut, rigid topic. Um, and yeah, that's my take on it.
Mooncake.
Yeah, so similar to kind of what Taj was saying, I think that if the father identifies as black and he says his daughter is half black, then yeah, she's black. I think it's that easy. She's just on the lighter portion of black, but at the end of the day, everyone can still be black. I think we get into these situations where we try to push people out of the community of blackness. And when I say that, even like Prime, you see my sister, I forget, we're talking to Dream about this. She was on a live with, I don't know if you guys know him, the Black Guru, right? And he kept telling her that she was not black. Like they would not believe that she was a black woman, right? So I think it's easy to try and distance yourself or try and make like a barrier to be like, oh, your opinion or this doesn't matter into the future, or whatever it is, because we perceive you as this. And I think that's why mixed people also feel isolated sometimes, because I think they tend to get pushed outside the black community and then they don't always fit inside the white community.
Let's go to Queen.
I think you're still black, irregardless. I mean, I also posted some other stuff in the Discord. It's like coming from black mothers and white fathers, and like babies are like look white as fuck. They're still black at the end of the day, irregardless if they look white passing. I mean, if we think about like back when like lighter like black skin or black black women who passed as white went off to like the country and be like, yeah, I'm a white person, just because they were white passing but they were really black. So I think it's a thing, but I think you're still black.
Abraham Lincoln was black.
Nigga, what?
I bet she's serious too.
Wait, nigga, what? What the
Look-
fuck did I? Bro, I was. Oh wait, hold on.
Brought him in.
I was chilling, bro.
That's why he's trying to free slaves. He's like, these my niggas, really? I got
These my
y'all.
niggas, man.
This is my kid. He's the first black president. No, honestly, I'm as a residential dark skinned nigga up here. I'm glad you did it this order so I can check up some of this nonsense. To be clear, Patrick Mahomes' black card. Patrick Mahomes only purchased like the bronze package of the black card. If we being honest, Patrick Mahomes is held to like a 3 nigga limit in a 24-hour period. If he like ask that, we like, what's going on here? Like, Patrick, I got you. Like, we dapping him up.
I don't know, bro. Have you met? You've seen Patrick Mahomes' father?
Patrick Mahomes' daddy is a nigga.
And if that's your daddy, like,
but this man ain't Patty. This man ain't Pat. This ain't Big P. This nigga's name is Patrick.
Don't do that. His mama told us to stop calling him Pat. Don't do that. That's why we stopped calling him that. His mama said stop calling him Pat, and we respected it.
Exactly. It's Patrick. Patrick.
I think he has like the exact.
Patrick is like Clarence. Patrick's parents got a real good marriage. Like, I'm sorry to tell you that. Patrick, like, so, like, I'm before we can get to the dog, I'm just acknowledging that the man that sounds like Kermit the Frog when he talks, dude. He does all these things. Like, this man is absolutely black, but he's biracial. He's a biracial man. Like, his mama's genes is strong. And then this man Patrick went and got with another white woman. So it's not just someone with a black parent. This is already on the edge nigga. Got with another white woman, another Aryan, another Slavic woman, and created this baby. A beautiful baby. Nothing's wrong with the baby. If I looked at the baby, look, you know, I can't tell the hair's got a little bit of curls. I can say, oh, maybe you got some little je ne sais quoi, something in there. But this baby is not. This baby is gonna be. This is the baby of a future billionaire. She is not a black woman. She does not have the struggles of a black woman. She does not have the history of a black woman. Like, none of these things are the case. She, I don't even know if I feel comfortable saying biracial. Like, I'm gonna let that slide. But like, nowhere in the conversation is black woman.
I see what you're saying. I can see you probably wouldn't be able to. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, no problem. So let's go ahead.
I feel like the fact that niggas are debating whether or not that little girl's black is what tells me that they're black. I don't even as I've been black for 22 years straight. I haven't missed a motherfucking day. If there's one thing niggas gonna do, it's set trip. It's always gonna. And that's the thing I hate when like mixed kids try to claim this one. But I'm trying to tell you, I've been black a long time. I've never met a single trait that black people are like, you know what? You do that, you're black. I don't care what it is. If you're too dark, you're not black. If you're too ghetto, you're not black. If you talk too proper, you're not black. If you got too little money, if you have too much money, or you're a Christian, or you're a Muslim. If there's one thing I know niggas is gonna do to each other is set trip and try to identity check each other, right? But I say all that to say, the fact that we're arguing about it tells me, yeah, that motherfucker black. If you're doing that, if we even in this motherfucker be like, you're not black, they're black. It's not. If we arguing about it, they black.
So that's a strong black woman. That's gonna grow up to be a strong black woman. That's what you're looking at.
I didn't say that. I said that's a black woman. I didn't say that. That's a black girl. I mean, that's a young black girl.
Yeah, but I'm saying that like, so is she gonna have a black child?
But he has a point. Man? I think Bam has a point, right? Because Bam. So here's the thing: if that little girl has a child with a white man, right, and then that child comes out, right, and that child is like, oh shit, logic. We have another logic on our hands, right? That child is logic. Right? No, that could be logic. Point being though is that like, if that child is like, hey, Bam, look, man, I know how I look, but I have an entire black side of my family. And actually, me having this black lineage has led to me dealing with a lot of things that you might understand as a black person. You'll be like, you know what, nigga? You don't look it, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got the right flag. I don't trust it. I don't respect it.
He gonna say his great at this point his great granddaddy was a nigga. But I'm not buying into I'm not buying into like the black power. Like if he come up to me, dap me up, what up, my nigga? Like her child. Like, I'm gonna have a problem. If she say nigga, it's not gonna be a problem, but it's just gonna be like, what are we doing? Why are we playing with ourselves?
Is it purely an aesthetic thing?
Obviously, there's a thing where.
Yeah, my bad, base.
To be clear, like, when this child grows up, we don't know if this child will darken up. Sometimes that happens to kids, right? They somehow get like super dark when they grow up. That's the thing that happens. But assuming that like she continues on this current trajectory, right? Unless she's carrying her 23andMe, right? Unless she's got a picture of her father, not one of you motherfuckers would ever say this as a black woman. Not one of you. You would
Depends on
how
that
does
shit.
you would be
mix?
walking around. You would see
Mhm.
this a person, right, all grown up, and you're like, that's a fucking white woman. That's a white woman who just said the N word. That's what's gonna
Yeah.
go through your mind. Like that's like someone. She must be having a Karen moment if she thinks she can do that, right? That's exactly what you're all thinking, and you're bullshitting if you're saying anything else, right? Like let's get that out of the way.
No, it depends on how she. I don't. That's what I said.
Nah,
and
you can tell she's
you're
mixed.
you literally cannot. If you that's
can.
bullshit.
She's got
If you
blue
if
eyes
she
and
was
blonde hair.
blonde hair, blue eyes, pale skin, you're like, yeah, I could totally. If her
She's
father
not,
was
she's
in there, I
yellow.
could totally
She's
tell her.
not pale.
That's
She's yellow.
bullshit.
That's the thing.
She's
That's-
biracial.
That,
She's one of
that's-
those high yellow,
It's
blue eyed.
I get it. There's a whole
I mean,
lot of copium.
I
Hey,
get it.
hey, I am still talking. There's a whole lot of copium going on here, and we're gonna have to deal with this. We gotta drag it out in the open. Now, I'm gonna say this now rather than waiting, but just like I've had this conversation plenty of times before, and there's multiple things, right, that the word black does, right? Like it's interesting how language works because you can say a thing, right, say a word, but there could be a whole list of contexts, and you might think it's clear which context you're using, but the other person might not be receiving it in the same way. So when we talk about black, what is black? Well, black, part of it is certainly phenotypically, right? The way you present outwardly to the world. That child doesn't present as black. That's just like outright. It's outright. If I mix her in to a group of white kids, you wouldn't be able to find her. Don't bullshit me. But anyway, but there's also the black experience, right? And what exactly is that? It's hard to like pin down. We tried before, we could try again, but part of that is growing up like appearing black, but part of it is growing up in a family that's black, right? Or people finding out that you are of mixed heritage and treating you differently, right? These are things that black people have to deal with. So there's that, and then there's like culturally black. Right? Like, will she grow up culturally black? I don't know anything about. I never even knew this guy named Patrick Mahomes. So I don't know what kind of person he is, right? So I can't answer that. But that's part of. I don't know. I am still talking. But that is part of the equation too, right? Like, is this person culturally within the black milieu, like whatever that might mean for you? And that's another thing that's hard to define. But these are discrete things, even though they can be hard to define sometimes. They are discrete things, and so let's try to like separate these things when we're talking. Are we talking about the race? Are we talking about the experience? Are we talking about the culture? Right? And maybe there's other categories you might be able, contexts you might be able to think of. Let's just try to do that, and we can have more of a healthy conversation here. Go ahead.
Bass.
Yeah, like I said, I've seen the grown up version of that mixed kid, and in my mind, that's a mixed kid. I don't now I do think that how do I say it kind of might suck to say that there should be a separate category that they're not gonna experience probably the world that say a darker skinned black person would experience. But as far as their ancestry, like I'm not they're not fully like going like being a white person either. Which I guess really goes into the question, right? Like are we talking about the nuances or are we gonna talk about like the actual experience of living life, quote unquote, presenting as a white person or a black person, right? Which I think is probably a much more better conversation than to talk about the particularities of her phenotype. Let's actually talk about that. Because I think you guys have a great point. I think Bam has a really great point when he's like, when you look at her, are you going to see a black woman? You're not. At best, you're gonna
Doesn't
see a
matter
mixed
if
woman.
I would, though?
That's how I see it. I think it does, right? Because again, differently, I would see her as a mixed woman. You guys would see her as a white woman. So how would you treat her? You'd probably treat her
But
the
if
way
a
you
bunch
would a
of
white
so
woman,
question though,
right?
if Patrick Mahomes' daughter was around white people and they all said,
Mhm.
"Nah, we can tell the difference," she's still like, "What do we do with that?" And let's say it's niggas, right? We're all on prime. We see her, we go white woman, but when she goes white people, they're like, "Nah, nigga, we not same.
White people absolutely can tell. Black people can tell before white people can tell. If
I think
anything,
so,
there's
yeah.
there's an entire history related to that. There's movies, like a movie called Passing deals with this concept of like I think Queen was speaking to the idea of like there were a lot of like Creole and really light skinned mixed women who went off into white communities and like married white men and had white children, like lived their entire lives without telling their husband. But
That's crazy.
but when black people seen them, like black people could tell, but white people aren't going to be able to tell. Like that typically, like generally speaking, like white people are just gonna, because white people aren't on the look for other races typically. Like
No, but I mean,
oh,
like,
you're
if
just
you
a normal,
raised
you're
in
just
a
like
if you're raised in a white community, right, and you're the only kid whose hair naps a Pusha T reference, right? I think that like I've definitely seen that happen where a
that
mixed
ain't a
kid would
nap.
be.
That's like 3A, my guy. At
Hey,
best.
hey, but amongst, but my nigga, I'm saying, but that's what I'm saying. If you're amongst white people, right? That's the thing. Like the unfortunate thing about being mixed, right? Amongst white people, right? You could be almost sort of kind of white, but I think that white folks will still tell the difference. I think that's what I mean when I say, even if I as a black person would say I don't look at that person and see that they're black, does that matter? If white people say that they're black, then what? Right?
Yeah, I'm saying I don't think that's gonna happen. But also, when you talk about hair texture, if there's any redheaded girl or any Jewish girl in any of these neighborhoods, their hair is gonna be more coarse than hers.
Let's go to Mooncake. Do me a favor, like don't give me beta fingers when we're talking to alpha palms, right? So that I can actually see your hand, right? So alpha palms like this. Let's
like
be
this?
nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
It doesn't have to necessarily be on the camera,
No, you
but
have
yeah,
to do
like
that.
in the
Whoa,
camera,
whoa,
whatever.
whoa, 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 guys, hold
alpha
there.
palm, so I can see it. It makes it difficult otherwise to spot when you want to talk. But go ahead.
Okay, I'm sorry. No, I just had a couple questions. Okay, so are we saying that she okay, how do I ask this? If she grows up around black people, right? Then do we consider her black? Or if she grows up around white people, is she considered white or mixed? Like, how are we?
Well, hold on, but
question.
this is what I'm trying to shortcut, right? So let's not just say black. Let's say, is she culturally black, right? Or does she have the black experience, right? So we can narrow down what we're talking about, because obviously it doesn't change her phenotype. If she grows up with whoever, she grows up Asian, around Asian people, doesn't change her phenotype, right? So let's just try to be a bit more specific with the language.
She's the best mix.
Because
she's the best biracial.
Yeah, because like the way I see it is biracial, right? Like, I don't look at her and see, oh, a little like black girl. No, I see like, oh, she's biracial, and that's how he's going to raise her, is as a biracial girl. Which I think is completely fair. I think we understand that she's not like a black woman. She may not have the same experiences, but if people find out that she is biracial, or that's how she like says like, yeah, I'm biracial, they may treat her differently, right? So there are things that she could experience as a biracial child growing up.
Yeah, but let's focus on the crux of that. If people find out, because they're going to have to find out, right? This is, I agree with Bam that black people will be more likely to identify a person of mixed race, like a white person mixed race. I definitely agree with you there. But in the end, like there are plenty who pass through that we don't know. Like I was just watching it was a documentary. It wasn't specifically about race, but it was a woman, or it wasn't specifically about like being mixed race, but it was a woman who was white presenting, talking about like being a black woman. No way would I have picked her out. There's no way I would have picked out this woman as a black woman, right? And I believe her when she said she's had some like unfortunate experiences, because that happens when people find out. but you have to find out.
I never would have clocked logic.
And it's different from the way that any of us experience this, right? I don't know, Razor might have a bit different experience, but like for the rest of us, these Negroes here, like people know certainly when they look at us.
Are all y'all biracial?
I'm just going to say that my brother is mixed, like he's half white, but he presents more white. So you'd look at him and probably be like, oh, like his dad's Italian, like that's a white man, like that's an Italian man. But he still sees himself, or how he understands himself, as like a mixed biracial person. So he still like sees the black side. That's why I was kind of curious too.
Okay, are you mixed?
No, I'm not. So we have different dads. So his dad is actually like Italian, but we have different dads. My dad's from Jamaica.
Okay, curious. So neither of your parents are of mixed ethnicity?
The only thing I did a 23andMe because I was so curious. Was like there's some Indian, but that's about it. That's like what I know. But turns out 19% European, which was a little depressing.
Okay, so I thought so. Like I mean, if you look at Africa, Like there's obviously different shades of people, but like you start at like a browner skin. Like if I don't know if like light skinned black people, like even though they obviously exist and they're black, like typically if you do ancestral, you usually find something there. So that's why I was curious, like with you being like lighter skinned, I was like, oh, okay, there's probably I was curious. I thought you would be mixed somewhat.
Oh, I got like 70% West African. I got a lot of West African.
Yeah, but 30% is a lot. My bad.
This motherfucker.
No, 30%.
That's crazy. That's 30% of lies. Crazy.
But you said 19% European, right?
Yeah, and then what 10 I guess Indian.
No, it was 19% European, and then the rest of it was like Indian. Oh, sorry, no, sorry, 70% West African. Sorry, 70% West African, 19% European, and then the rest like Indian.
Okay, yeah,
cool.
But anyway, yeah. So the way if you have to find out, back to the original point, if you have to find out, then you're talking about a completely different experience than the way that the rest of us move through the world, right? We can agree on that, right?
Yeah, I think
Yeah, you
so.
have a different experience, but if your experience is more like internal and like interpersonal, like invalidated, like Bam was talking about like Logic. Logic was the funniest example of that because Logic was like, "Hey, yo, look, man, I know how I look, but like you gotta understand, like half my family's white, and they would always treat me differently because my dad is black, and the black people just told him to shut the fuck up." It was just kind of fucked up, not code. But like, I think that experience, I consider that to be a part of the black experience. Like you may experience it differently, but you know what it's like to be treated differently because people look at you and say, "Hey, you're black."
I don't even know what that guy looks like. Can someone put me a picture of this guy?
Logic?
Yeah.
I would
Everyone
not
knows
Logic.
like-
I would never. I would just think he's a white man.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, most people would. Or like, yeah, most people would.
Can someone put a link in the?
I got you, bro.
He's got
Hold
you.
on. He was supposed to be Eminem, actually, to bring it back to. He was supposed to be the next Eminem before he was corny. He was. He was rapping with Rubik's cubes and shit. Oh, he was all the rage.
Man, that man was high yellow. All right, that yellow was high in him.
Yellow?
But yeah, bro.
He's
I'll be
Tom
honest,
Joyner
bro.
level.
You gonna see Logic, and you're gonna be like,
He's like
okay.
he's like
You gonna
maybe
be like,
two
okay.
levels of skin pigment away from me, like maybe one. That's
Yeah,
God.
bro.
So,
You
Razor,
gonna look at
I know,
him and
Razor,
with
I
his
know you
glasses?
black.
It's like the hair's not giving on Logic
Exactly.
like it is on you,
His
Razor
hair,
Sharp.
his skin, his eyes.
No,
Let's be real,
exactly.
bro.
No,
Like,
that's what I keep saying. It's always the hair. It's always the hair.
Is
Even your
Logic?
face.
Is this percentage
Yeah.
based?
Sorry, what'd you say?
His dad
Is
is,
this percentage based?
huh?
Sorry, you're breaking up. We cannot
Is this
hear what you're saying.
percentage based? Oh,
Get close
is
to
this
your mic.
percentage based? Like,
Oh,
if you're
percentage based.
black?
Percentage base. Okay, sure, got it.
His dad's a dark skinned black guy, my understanding. It's
No,
just
his
that,
dad's
like,
mixed.
it's literally just
No, his dad is like light skinned.
dad's mixed?
No, he's not mixed.
Oh,
He
really?
might be mixed, but his dad is light skinned. His dad's like you, except
Oh,
like
wow.
yeah. That's why he looks like that. His dad is light skinned and his mom is white, and that's what we got.
This is the baby we talking about. This is what this baby's gonna become.
DQ. You.
That's
you
why I
wanna say
said
something?
Logic, nigga. That's Logic is the greatest example of this. Like,
Oh, and then there's of course, and then but there's
I said
also the
I said DQ,
fact-
DQ, and
Oh,
then
sorry, my
Razor.
bad.
Yeah, DQ
My
then
bad.
Razor.
I mean, like personally, if I like got together with an interracial person, I would still probably raise my children more like, and if they looked white, right? I would still raise them as like black children because I'm a black person, and yeah, the world wouldn't necessarily see them as like black children, but like that's what exactly they are. And I mean, like I put instances where you see like whole ass families, like some of them look more black, some of them look more white, but they're still fucking black. Their mamas is fucking dark, okay? Dark chocolate, right? They're still going to like, they've got some wide noses and stuff. Like we would like personally as black people would point that out, right? But like, I think for me personally, like I would still like be like, you need to be proud that you're black. Like, yeah, the world may not see you that way, but like you're a black person. And I would also probably be like, don't forget about the black men out there, because like we gotta still be black, but
Let's go to Razor and yeah.
Yeah. We also have to keep track of like how genetics actually can generally work. Obviously, even like obviously the skin tone for like say Logic and stuff like that, and obviously for me, the way that everything kind of panned out is how I ended up. Is just how I ended up. For that little girl, Patrick Mahomes' daughter, when she's fully grown or something, she has her own kid, probably with either with a black dude or just with another white dude. Um, there's actually there's a chance, even if it's small, that that kid will come out looking as dark as Bam. There's
Mhm.
that's actually a chance. That is there's always going to be that chance because she always has that gene in her. Because like my mom is darker than Bam, and I came out like this. So
Yeah.
Um,
I'm like, I understand the possibility of
I'm
it,
just-
but if
I'm
you
just-
get
I'm
that
just-
dark baby, I'm just saying you need to run get a test on it. Even if you love her, I would get to like, oh yeah, this just happens. It's my genes. It's the black in me coming out. Like you believe that if you
Yeah.
want to.
Mhm.
You get a chocolate baby.
That's
Well,
happened-
someone's black.
that's
is
happened in my
coming out.
family.
I know it
The
can.
same brother I told you about. One of his kids came out actually like, and he had a baby with a white girl, kind of like darker. And I promise you, he is the father. Like before everyone's like getting ideas.
I mean,
And I was like, yeah, that's just how genes work.
But did he check?
I'm also
Hold on,
can I
we
be
get a
real with
test
y'all?
in, hold on.
but yeah,
But
but
like,
yes, like sorry, God.
it's just that like when we're talking about these oh fuck, I forgot what I was gonna say. Never mind. I had something. Someone go
I
ahead.
felt like an Indian with a good haircut could right now. If Taj said right now, you know what, I'm cutting the bullshit. Be real with you all. I'm Indian. Y'all wouldn't know the goddamn difference. You wouldn't fucking know. You motherfuckers wouldn't be able to tell. You been
lot
involved
of
in the
times,
bamboo
yeah,
Sounds like a
food.
Mindy Kaling's
A lot of
brother.
time because race can technically be seen as a social construct. Yeah,
Can be?
it can end up is I should say it can be just fully identity based. Like for me, obviously, I do identify as black. But if I fully shaved my hair and just wore the wigs, so like the little blonde wigs or whatever, I could pass it. Now I'm just a white dude. Fuck you guys. Like I
Nah.
could easily.
I don't think you'd be able to pass.
I'm
I
sorry
don't
about
I mean,
that.
you can
No,
believe
I
that.
think
You
that
can
get away with
that's
saying you're
the-
Latino.
No, I
Still,
think
nigga,
that that's
I
like
think
he could pass as Latino.
I would still be right to say that I would still be right to say that I'm white. I just choose to say I'm black because I am black. I'm just mixed.
This episode
That's what I'm about to
Atlanta
say.
about
As a
this.
mixed
One top
person,
rule.
you could quite literally, as a mixed person, if you really wanted to, you can just probably lean into whatever side of your biracial identity you want to. That's just a privilege of being mixed, right? If you wanted to, you probably really could, right?
Yeah, but can I
Like,
just, well, I don't know. I think it kind of depends aesthetically how you look, right? I think you only go so
Yeah.
far with leaning on your I'm the white thing. Like let's say that the mixed girl had again brown eyes and she was a little bit tanner, more like olive skin. Could she then still just go around and just say she's white, or would white people again look at her and be like, "Nah, I don't know, man. I think you're
It's a-
probably missing something." Could you really
If
just say
if a
"I'm
mixed
white," and
kid
they
said,
accept you?
if a mixed kid says, this is weird shit I don't understand. Okay, I think the proper term is mixed. Let me start with that. But if a mixed kid says, I am white, that is an irrefutable statement. You can't even fight it. You'd be dumb. There's nothing you can't contend with. Right?
Not in
Much the
the
same
experience.
way.
I think we could though,
Right?
and that's what they did
How?
historically.
It's a
Historically, they
fact.
did.
I mean, like, it wouldn't even be.
But historically, they
But
did.
they had laws
again,
about this.
They said the one drop rule. You one drop a Negro. That's it. One drop.
That's what I'm saying though. But like, but that's what I'm saying though. But like, do you believe?
So
So, if
my-
okay, wait. So if logic, so wait. So,
Mhm.
so that's what I'm saying. When niggas like logic was one drop ruling, it was like,
But that's the
nah,
thing,
bro. I
though.
better not hear you say
That's
that
how he
word.
got
No,
treated.
logic would have been the
Right,
one
that's
to
right.
slip in.
But he did. But he was treated that way. I mean, according to what you were saying, his story, his life experience, his own family did one drop rule him. They did mistreat him, or they
But
did kind of
niggas
treat him a
didn't.
little bit.
That's my
but
point.
His
Like,
dad was mixed, right? But
but
black
but
people,
the greater population didn't, right? White people too. Like white people were just like no logic. Black people were like no logic. You're just white, right? Like the one drop rule is some shit that we selectively apply on a Tuesday when we feel like it, right? But I'm saying
and I think that it's
Oh,
I think it's
Tuesday.
because
Selective.
it's aesthetic though. I think part of it is the aesthetic and just how you look. I think logic could just be like, yeah, I'm a white man, and then just eat that. But there are some mixed kids. I don't think they could. I don't think some mixed kids could. I think they could eat. I think, interestingly enough, there are some black and white mixed kids who could just say they're Puerto Rican and then just okay, right? They can just say I'm Hispanic, okay, and the people just eat that. That's about the best you get. But to say you just straight I'm a white person, I
Yeah,
don't
you
know.
know when you see
Let's-
it.
But like no, but like hold on, Razor, and this is not to send a shot, but like Razor has as much claim to being a white person as he does being a black person. That's literally what it means to be mixed.
Ain't nobody gonna buy. Ain't anybody buying it, even if you
I
say
don't
It's
the
a
know
same.
about
fact.
that.
But that's the
Like
point.
nigga, you don't have arms long enough to box with reality, nigga.
But that's the point. So it's like, how many people are really gonna eat that? And if Razor
Hey,
says
bro.
I'm a white man, how many people are gonna be like,
Race is about to
I
put
guess
on the
he's
wig.
white?
No. If
Um,
Razor wants
If
to
he
be,
gets
so this
stopped by
is
the police,
that's
the
here's
weird
thing
real
about the-
question. Here's the real question: if he gets
I
stopped by
wore
the
this
police,
wig more often than
where are
not.
they putting him?
no. My point
How
is
we
like
getting
that's the
treated?
weird thing about a duality, right?
Go
Like
ahead,
that's
put
why I
on the
said
wig,
it. That's
and we
why.
can settle this. But go ahead.
That's why I started this by saying like the phrase you should use is mixed because that's the only phrase that was completely and totally fair, right? Like you might not be able to say that you're black because to say that you're black implies that you're just solely black and the same for being white. That's why the correct phrase I think is to say mixed. That is
Okay,
the best.
so two things. One, Razor, is that an Umbreon hoodie you're wearing?
Is it?
It's an Umbreon Kigurumi. It's an Umbreon Kigurumi.
I don't
What
know
the
what that is,
fuck?
but it's a pizza colon. Got it. It's Umbreon.
Basically an adult onesie. Yes.
Okay. All right. You know what? No, fuck it, because I would actually love
I'm
a
only
onesie.
laughing because you could have led with
Oh,
that.
I would actually.
He always wears it.
I would
No,
actually.
he
lo-
does.
It's
No, I'm
cute.
fine with
It's-
what he's
it's
wearing.
iconic.
It played like a comedy joke.
Let's go to our friend Mooncake, who's been waiting.
And then Queen had her hand again.
Oh, DQ, you had your hand up. Okay. I need
Yeah,
palms.
I mean,
I said-
yeah, I had palms up for a long ass time,
She did-
nigga.
she did
I
great.
didn't see it. Was it
Yeah,
like
that's
this?
your fault, nigga.
Was it like this? I don't-
No, it was up there. It was high and it
I
was
didn't-
proud.
I didn't see it. All right, fair enough.
It was too white for him to see.
Okay. I
Damn.
yeah, I agree with like about being like mixed, but like I also see that like my cousin who is a mixed like kid, he denies his blackness in some ways, even though his daddy is fucking black. My uncle is fucking black. We do not deny our blackness, right? And I mean like he had a kid with like a white woman and all their kids look white, right? And even though they would be considered mixed, I feel like their experience with black people is going to be more cultural because like you hang out with your black family, like you experience like the blackness. I mean, even though he's like my uncle's married to a white woman and like they don't have any children together, but like her children from the previous like relationship, they're all white and stuff like that. But I still like think that like because like our like aunts and like my aunts and stuff like we're all there to kind of be like experience that like you are like black in some sense but like they are still considered mixed even though they are very white passing, but I think culturally they can be black.
Okay.
I think that the thing is this is a really easy thing that we figure out with other races, but for some reason I don't know why black people make this more complicated. Like there's so many white people who acknowledge like, oh yeah, like part of my family's Native American, but like or like we have Irish background, like they can do this, but they understand it like racially, like oh okay, there's a difference between them and a traditional tribal Native American. Like and they don't it's not that complex to figure out what that difference is. That's why everybody laughed at who was running for president a few years ago for being
Yeah, she was native. Yeah.
like
Elizabeth Warren.
Sarah Palin?
Elizabeth Warren.
And it like it was an obvious thing, like, oh, okay, yeah, no, you're not with Native American, and that's another good reason why you should watch Flower Moon. But it's a joke, but serious. Like everything comes back to an Atlanta reference. There's an Atlanta episode that deals with the exact concept. It was the episode that Kevin Samuels died on, and it's also the episode that Dream's ex was in.
Kevin Samuels was in Atlanta?
Yeah,
Yeah, he was from Atlanta.
yeah,
No, not from Atlanta. I thought he was in the show.
Atlanta.
I didn't know he was in the show. That's crazy.
Yeah, it was a good episode. Dealing with the idea of like, oh yeah, like I can pass. Like I think it's called white passing actually. This show, and it's a dude that tried to pull what Ray's was talking about, even though like realistically, like it in the entire episode's in black and white, which is an interesting like stylistic choice. But you could tell immediately, like, oh, okay, this nigga's not hiding among y'all. Like I know that nigga when seen. Like everybody knew that nigga when they seen him. Like they were like, "What, you're black?" But like at the end of the episode, all the niggas was like, "Come on, now you a nigga." But then he tried to like play into his blackness to get like a black scholarship, and it didn't work out. Anyways, watch Atlanta. Yeah, I think that it is very selective how we choose. Like we're saying, oh, we pick and choose. Yes, we pick and choose because it's like it's very situational. Like you can tell when someone's like, oh, you know, like I didn't know they were of that race. I didn't know they had that background. And other people is like, oh yeah, you can say whatever you want to. You say like, oh yeah, you know, I'm just gonna identify with my white half. Like you can. Whenever if you were in a pursuit, like I said, from police, not even just pulled over, if like they running, they're gonna say black man 5'11" 6'2", blackity black, like get his ass. Like he ain't one of us.
That's what I was about to say. Like so, like that's what I was just about to say. Wait, that's what I'm about to ask. So, like, do you think that someone's blackness lives on how the like it's basically majority consensus is you don't pass our vibe check, whatever that may be, you're not.
For sure, yeah, it's got to be an experience. Now, like
I mean, it's a social
you can have your
contract,
internal
so.
thing, but if race isn't an outward experience, if race is just an internal thing, like it. I mean, some people argue race means nothing. I mean, like black people even argue they're like, oh, race means nothing. I think race means something, whether you think that you should value it or not. And I think that it's based off of the external. I think it's based off of like how your experiences shape you in society.
No, that's what I'm saying. Because this is this weird. It's this shit feels like some of the gangbanging of like, well, we said he not that, so we ain't really like I don't like back to the black people set primitive. Like we do this thing of like, you don't pass my black, therefore you're not black, irregardless of the fact that like maybe your dad was black, you may have these experiences, but you know what? I don't feel like it, so you not, and I don't know that that's like. That's why the identity is so fucking weird. That's why it gets irritating.
Is it personal to you? I feel like Chicago got a lot of Puerto Rican niggas. Did you get people call you Puerto Rican?
No. I'm African American. I'm black as the heart of a fucking area.
I don't say do
people
they
come. What the fuck is? No. What the fuck?
Here's a
No.
question. This is an interesting question. If you're not
I think he's Chance the Rapper black.
Are you black?
That's funny.
And I think it is important to kind of run with that idea. Because if the world doesn't...
But say it again, Bass?
You said if you're not treated as black, are you
if
black?
the world doesn't give you the treatment of a black person, can you really go around and say you're black? Like, go back to logic, right? Like, if you didn't get that experience from everyone else, but because only your family knew, but no one else knew, are you really black? Or was your family just wrong? Was your family
No. If you never if you're like one of the luckiest black people in the history of blackness to never ever have your blackness and to never be treated different, what does that even mean to you?
You're cutting out a bit, Solus. Before you were fine, but now
Bass, that's an interesting question.
It's been dropping.
No, I said that. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now, but it's just like every few words, there's a drop. Just so you know.
I said that if you are lucky enough to go your entire life without having your blackness noted and treated differently because of that, then no, I wouldn't say you're black. Like, what would that even mean to you? Like, what would that it would literally never enter your world. So, like, of course, like you be the concept of race never came into your life. So how could you be?
Is Ted Cruz a proud Mexican?
What if you live in a predominantly black
I think it's fascinating that. I think it's fascinating.
Wait. Can I cook? Wait, are white Mexicans not Mexican, Bam? Is that what we getting at? Is that what we?
I don't think Ted Cruz's experience is Mexican. I don't think that's.
Let's guys, shut up. I let Mooncake in. She's been waiting. So Mooncake and then Taj, yeah.
Oh, I was just saying. Also, like, I can't remember what I was saying before. But I was gonna ask
in a black neighborhood.
If TJ Holmes, that's his name. If he was Somalian, right? Would that baby be black?
What?
He was Somalian with the baby.
That's funny.
If
the baby was raised in Somalia,
Somalians don't believe they're black.
Oh, you talking about like the me no black, papi, me no black, like the.
No, a lot of them actually say like they're not black, they're Somalian. So I'm curious, like.
What is that? That's not how that works. You
Would
no,
that child that
even if how the fuck? Wait, no, how the fuck? That's not how. If a nigga could say, "Look, man, I'm not black," there would be no black people. If motherfuckers would be like, "You know what? Tap out. It's been real. Don't want to do this shit no more." That would have been happened. That's not how. You can't just be like, "Well, I'm some, or I'm Kenyan, or I'm insert place, so I'm not black." Even if they
Niggas
say
do
that,
heavy.
that doesn't matter. Like you could, that's not how not being. What the fuck? Even every nigga would do that then.
Yeah, you're still treated like you're black. You don't. If
Yeah,
you're in America, it don't change.
Yeah, but that's the part that's important.
No, they
what Bass just said, right? Is that like you can
no, but that's like an actual thing.
I hold on, but that's why I'm trying to address what Bass just said, because he said here in America, right? And that part's important because in other countries, other cultures, they have different racial classifications, which Americans seem to forget all the goddamn time. Mooncake's Canadian, so it's
We're
spread
right.
to her as well. But yeah, like it's they have different classifications, and so like you'll go to African nations and the people just as dark as me, but they'll say, well, oh, you're not black because you don't come from this nation, or you have like this father or whatever. That means you're not black. Like they're the way they look at it. So I can imagine. I've never dealt with
Sorry, you're cutting out
Somalian.
for me. I'm so sorry.
I had never dealt with Somalian before, but like if that's the case, if they come to the States and say like, hey, I'm not black, well, sure, they can say that, but like once within this cultural context, right? Like if they got skin like mine, then their ass is black.
Yeah, I was about to say if you're Somalian, like no, theoretically though, if you lived in a country, like we were just saying earlier, like if you were in an all black country and the idea of being black was never introduced and like your melanin was the normal thing, like race wasn't necessarily prominent or under different guidelines, like no, I don't think you could say black, because again, like how would you? It's never introduced to you. But like if you're arguing with an American and saying I'm not black, well, that's what it feels like to be black. You see how somebody putting something saying I'm not this thing? Well, there you go. That's how.
Just the myth of the model minority at the end of the day. Just because like you come from a different country, then you're treated quote unquote better because you're seen as more hardworking, and so you can say that you're not quote unquote black, but you're going to be treated black. If someone fucking like pulls you over, like a cop pulls you over, and yeah, you may be Somalian, you're a Somalian immigrant, that cop is still going to treat you like a black person.
Exactly.
They do not care about your accent or anything. You're black. You black.
I think accents matter. I think accents could change an experience, the way someone experiences. Like they see you, they pull you over, and it's like, oh, you get these things, and you like, hello, Poppy, what's going on? Hey. And now it's like, oh, okay, he's not one of those. Like, never mind. Like, yeah, like this.
It might be treated worse because he might not even think he's American.
No, yeah, I think that I think that like accents and like names, accents definitely shift the black experience. But now it's all falls under the
For
umbrella
sure.
of black, but it's like a different kind of black versus the American black is like the bottom tier kind of.
There's two things that I wanted to ask then, right? Because Mooncake brought up before about percentages, and I wanted to focus on that a bit, but like also fuck, what was the second thing? God damn it, this is why I need to write things down. When I don't write things down, I forget. All right, but we'll focus on the percentage thing while I try to regain the other thing. But percentage, I think that's interesting, right? Like intuitively, I think people don't want to say that like it's a matter of percentages, but like the last question or one of the questions I put in there is like, can you basically breed out the black? Right?
No.
Never.
Really? Are you sure? Right? So like,
no. I'm saying
so
percentages. No, check this out. Percentages would never. If Bam said right now, nigga, I'm 1% black, would y'all give a fuck? Would y'all be like, you know what? Oh shit, my bad. Oh wow. Well, what the fuck? I'm sorry. I got it all wrong. I thought you were one of mine.
Well, sure, but that's different though. He said, can you breed out? He didn't ask about the percentage part. He's saying that like if like for 7 generations, like it's just white people. They get the nigga pass that I had. They get their great granddaddy's nigga pass.
Okay, then my bad. I misunderstood the question.
I think at that point you would.
Yeah, I think that you could, but I just don't know where that line. I just don't look how the calculus
Maybe
between like
less than,
how
like,
we
5%.
measure race in America is like so fucky. Like how we measure the race of like Jewish people versus black people versus white people versus Latinos is so fucking arbitrary in the United States, and that's the only way that I know how to measure it. Where it's like I don't know, like I just don't know.
We
But
recognize
I think
that
that you
99%
could after like X amount of generations, You're just like, all right, bro, like pack.
But
pack it
Taj,
up, pack
okay,
it
wait,
up.
hold on,
Like,
Taj. I want to ask you
yeah.
that. Is that because that's what I was about to say? Is that this is really weird shit? Say you were unfortunate, next generation white, right? You've been bred out as we've said, right? But for whatever reason, genetics genetic, and you as fuck. Are we gonna be like, yo, not a nigga? No, his great granddaddy genes ain't gonna make him like.
Yeah, the gene thing
What
that
if
doesn't fully make sense 100% because like if Logic has enough grandkids that just kids and grandkids that like just constantly choose white partners over and over and over again, yeah, those like bruh, like I'm 10% white, nobody's gonna call me white. Like Mooncake says she's 20% white, no one's calling her a white girl, all right? Like no one's calling her that. So you could, but I just don't know where that is. I don't know where that line is.
The line is
I think it
arbitrary.
has
You know,
something
you
to do with like
said it. It's arbitrary.
it's arbitrary. Yeah, it's
Right.
subjective because like how you measure like if someone's Latino or not is like
Bro.
okay, David Pac-Man's Latino, but also fucking Cardi B's Latino, you know,
Is
and
David
like
Pac-Man Latino?
Bro,
What?
I have my entire life.
David
I have
Pac-Man's
seen,
Latino because his oh my bad, what'd you say?
no, I was about to say my entire life. I have seen
Mhm.
the darkest skinned Cubans, Dominicans, and Puerto Ricans argue over this amongst themselves. Right, my time having
Yeah.
friends who are Hispanic, right, and I'm trying to tell you, I can think of the niggas in my head. Puerto Ricans, Dominican, they are devout, they are proud, they motherfuckers. Every time they have a parade, they out and about, right? If them motherfuckers came in here with some good waves, y'all would not be able to tell. They would just be niggas. Y'all wouldn't until they said something. They would just be niggas. I'm saying like the line is ridiculously arbitrary. It doesn't exist really. It's just kind of when you feel like it on a Wednesday.
But
Some may or may not be black.
They are niggas. Dominicans are niggas. Dominicans just don't acknowledge that they niggas. But Dominicans
Yeah,
are
they're
absolutely
from the
niggas.
same
They, oh, they, I know.
landmass as fucking
Yeah,
Haitian.
I
Like-
had a Dominican in my in my college class, right? And holy shit, telling them that they're black. Holy fuck, the fights. The fights we
thought about
had
that?
over this shit. No, they're definitely not black. When they definitely about as dark as I am, right? Definitely got hair like I do. Definitely present the same way, but yeah, I'm not black, right? Like it's unbelievable
like-
dealing with them. Like
So
No,
why
I
can't
know.
they be
I-
proud that
I've
they're
had-
Afro Latino at the end of the day because they're
I'm
still
sad-
Africa, you know?
I don't know. No, half of my so high, right? I'm black and Dominican, which I don't tend to say because it's mostly being black and black. in most
here
people's
comes
eyes, right?
Dominican. Yeah, I
Not
know
black
what's
and
happening.
Dominican.
Son. I know
It's
what's about
nationality.
to do.
No, I
They be
said
like,
no.
Don't let me in, you Negroes. Like,
No,
Black
nigga. The
and
reason
black.
the reason I say that is because of what you're talking about. Like I've
Yeah,
seen that in my life where motherfucker be like, "Yo,
Yeah.
right, say you're black and Dominican." I just for the distinction of it, right? But anyway, point being though is that like the line is ridiculously arbitrary. It's worse when you go to places like I think Dream was talking about Morocco, but I can think of places like Egypt where there are motherfuckers that I promise you, to all of us, they're black. But are they black? I mean, they're from Africa, they're Egyptian, they have no African ancestry, same way that we do. Actually, they part of it. Would y'all say that they're black? You would. The line, it's like bro. The concept of race is an arbitrary line apply whenever we feel like it, right? It doesn't.
I
It doesn't.
think
For all
I
intents and
see.
purposes, doesn't exist.
So
Mhm.
say they were Afro. I would say that they're Afro Arab. You know, like there are Afro Arabs out there, right?
And if they said I'm just an Arab, I don't want to be called Afro anything, would we have the right to say no?
Yeah, because they're still black and they're from fucking Africa.
What does that
This-
mean?
But I say
So because
northern,
they're from
northern
Africa,
Africa
they're
is
black?
different though. But I say the same thing about Dream. I'm like Dream black, but Dream black because of his engagement with blackness. Like Dream is technically an Arab man, but like he does enough culturally that I was like, oh
See
okay.
what the fuck I'm,
This nigga.
see what the fuck I'm saying? Like,
Okay.
this is like the
Is
French
Jim Rock-
Montana. Yo, if
is that
French
what- is that what
Montana,
you're saying?
Yeah,
French
sure.
Montana.
There's the edges.
French
Things.
Montana.
Sure, there's a couple of lines on the edges, but pretending that like I always think it's dumb when we pretend that like something doesn't work because we can find like difficulty. Like I don't know what race means. Like we know what race means. Like with the races we have. Well,
What does
honestly,
it mean?
we could probably add in like Middle Eastern should probably have their own race. Indians, like South Asians, like should probably have their own race. Like it's weird just
What is-
considering them all Asian.
then what does it mean then? What does that mean? Like if I say, okay, somebody's white, somebody's black, somebody's so on and so forth.
It's you know it when you see it. It's something like I said, it's a reason we appeal to phenotypes. Like
Nigga.
in 99% of cases, 99 people out of 100, we look at them and we can well identify what their race is, or like I said, in some cases, like this little girl, we go into like, oh, okay, they're like they could be you could say that they're biracial.
But I could fill you with a room full of Indians and Cubans and say that they're black, and they said, no, I'm not Indian. I'm
Well, that's because they're from a different country, but we're speaking to the same idea. When I say you're black, like of course I'm framing that in an American sense, but like what I'm saying, fact of the matter is, okay, if we trace back your ancestry, it's like Western African, Sub-Saharan African. That's where your ancestry leads back to. That's all what someone's saying when they say I'm black.
until you get bred out, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
On those edge cases. Yeah. In those edge cases, you get bred out.
So even if Patrick Mahomes' daughter can trace her shit right back to the Western Coast, she can tell you where her family was taken from to the fucking port they were sold on. Well, you got bred out, niggas. So I don't.
For sure, she did. Absolutely. And
You're
it's
still
okay.
got bred out, nigga.
That's what I'm saying. Though. It's like, okay, so no, this is it. But what if this? Well, I don't. Well, I mean, yeah.
Do you think that is there anything that you can speak truth to that you can't speak to like edge cases to get more complicated? Like, does that defeat the rule?
No, I
Does
feel
the
like
exception make the rule?
no, I'm saying that like what is okay. The rule is what then? The rule is if I can trace your ancestry back to Sub-Saharan Africa.
No, the rule is I can look at you and tell if you have a reasonable history that traces back to Sub-Saharan Africa.
Cubans, Indians. I can name you people that you can look at them and be like, yo, that's no, I actually know that.
I'm about to say, well, I mean, they're black Cubans, if that's what you're asking me. I don't think all Cubans are black. Destiny's
You can do
not
that,
black
but
Cuban.
you can do what we just said for Dream. You could do that with an Egyptian or Moroccan and be like, no, you probably look. Oh no, entirely different.
Yeah, I was about to say North Africans are different. Like Egyptians, like Rami, that's a great show as well. Rami's not a nigga, but he's
Great,
Egyptian.
no, great show, great actor. But I just it's ever moving, right? Like, because again, if you're gonna go off strict, have these, right? They look the part, right? And they're even so as far to say that they're from Africa, right? And hell, you could be born in North Africa and your ancestry, but you would still say
Your camera's going crazy, bro.
oh,
You
who am
talking
I?
too fast. Yeah.
I mean,
No,
I understand the heart of what you're saying.
Camera's
You're
worse than
fine.
mine.
Is it still fucking up?
No, you're good.
You
at
have to
this
keep
point.
talking because it just
Yeah.
drops every so often.
Yeah, No, I was saying that like so that's what I'm saying though is like that whenever I to the test of say okay so this is what this ever moves. That's the point. Like there's no clear distinct. We could say like okay you're
In most
black
cases,
if
you can't. Is Prime black?
Hmm?
Is Prime
is
black?
Prime black? I don't know. Is Prime black? Is
You
he?
don't know now, nigga. Now you don't know.
I don't know. Is Prime black? If Prime, and I'm saying like that's actually a great example. If Prime said to you, "Hey, Vo, like whole time, not gonna lie to you, I'm a Cuban. I just I just look this way, but I don't really like." Would you be like, you know what, Prime?
Wouldn't it be more nationality than a race, though?
Yeah,
No,
so
but
you
that's how
absolutely
Cuban
nationality.
people. That's what I'm saying. Though. That's how Cuban people would say, like, "No, I'm not black. Don't call me black. I don't."
Sure, they
fuck about
deny it. That's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. They're like, yeah, they may have their own structure, their own diagrams of how they construct a race. But when I'm saying the heart of what someone's saying when they're saying black is like, oh, okay, you was on the boat too, nigga. You got dropped off somewhere else, but your family came across on them boats. That's what we're speaking to.
Yeah.
So niggas not on the boat, so they not black.
Oh, don't ask Mr. Fanatic. He'll have.
No, but you see what I'm saying? Like every time you give me that, it's like, okay, niggas on the boat. All right, so the niggas not on the boat.
No, we agree. We understand. We understand what you're saying, right? Like, but he basically what Bam is just saying. That's a general rule, right? That's what people are thinking in their head. But obviously, there are more like straight up Africans who have arrived afterwards on their own accord. So fair enough, right? But still. Like Cubans and Dominicans, like within their culture, right? They can divide races up on their own, right? You can become their own bullshit categories, just like we have our own bullshit categories. But the moment you arrive on American soil, right? Like when you finally reach freedom and liberty, well, then part of that is that you're a Negro. I don't know what to tell you. You've been reclassified
So the
as a
question though.
Negro.
Oh wait. Question then. So how many generations down the line is it like, okay, you're not black anymore? Because same thing applies. Like your ancestry goes way
It
Like, how
depends.
many-
It depends on how strongly your genes display, but it's probably like 3 generations. It's probably like 3 strikes. If you've been nothing but white people for 3 generations,
I can see
probably
that.
gonna call it.
No, I'm saying though, like, okay, wait. So that's what I'm saying though. Like, if 6 generations now, I have my family. They're we've all been sleeping with black men and women. We've just been having a good old chocolate, right? Generations. What generation is it? Like, all right, way back there, not black anymore, or is it still I look black, so we are black?
Wait, it went out for a little bit.
You
I
cut off,
understand
like-
the gist, but like I kinda
Generations down the line, if all of my children and their children sleeping with
black.
black people, right? But it's generations down the line. And what generation is like, okay, y'all name black because your ancestry is back. Let's fuck together.
But I consider you black, so that's what I'm saying. I don't get like. I think if you look back, I would still say that. Oh yeah, Solus was.
No,
also
that's
black.
fine. No, that's
But
that's
you consider
fine,
yourself
right?
half Dominican. Whatever that means.
No,
Yeah.
no. I if you act like I literally says, if you ask me, I'm black. I'm African American. Whatever the fuck that means. This little gang, we're all just tossing together, and I don't have a choice. Like if I could wake up tomorrow and be like, you know what, y'all, this hasn't been fun. I'm gonna go be green. I would, but I can't. That's what being black is. It's not an identity that you can just toss off or black people. So my point being is that how many generations down the line, when my ancestry from that sub-African,
It don't
You're
want you
not
to
black.
say
Ah,
it.
he just fully cut out there.
It just don't want you to say
fucking
that.
God.
I'm
Oh
sorry.
my
I'm
God.
sorry.
Type it in chat.
But yeah,
I'll type it.
yeah,
I'll try.
yeah.
I'll try.
When we're talking, but Solus did say something super interesting, right? He says, blackness isn't a thing that you can toss off, right?
You think you can opt into it?
But for some people, right, who look a certain way, it is something you can toss off, right? When you can walk around and people don't know, there's like people like Zendaya, who are like question marks, right? When you look at them, like, what do you place her at? She can play. She literally plays in all roles because no one can fucking place this woman, right? Like, and shout out to her, right? And apparently, I'm told that she has black heritage, and I believe her.
Doesn't
said
she
that.
identify as
mixed.
black?
No, she's straight mixed, like just dad black,
Black and white.
Wait, who?
Yeah, but like, okay, fair enough.
down the middle.
Yeah, but she
Yeah.
looks very racially ambiguous. I get your point, but I would even
Racially
say that to that point. I don't. So like, okay, so let's say that tomorrow Zendaya suffers a horrible black experience that a lot of black people experience as far as racism. Do we like be like, nah, you can still shave it off so you're not black?
I mean, I consider that. I don't consider. I know that there's people do. I don't really consider Zendaya to be white passing. Like,
I don't think she's white passing. No, I don't know if anyone.
Bruno
considers her white
Mars,
passing.
my
I
nigga,
wouldn't
she's
consider her
racially
white
ambiguous.
passing. Yeah,
She's
racially
very
ambiguous.
Bruno
like,
Mars.
Okay,
yeah,
I got
she's
it.
I mean,
question mark.
I mean,
The Rock is a
I
good example of racial ambiguous.
Yes. Yeah.
The Rock.
I think
For
the
sure.
thing with The Rock is that people aren't used to
Most people
seeing
don't know The Rock is black.
South Pacific
Islander,
South
yeah.
Pacific
Yeah,
Islander
Islander.
men. Is that like we're not used to seeing that, so we're like, okay, we gotta fit you in the categories we're familiar with, and black, Hispanic.
But
I don't
think
know,
I think
but
only
yeah.
his mom's. I think his mom's like half Pacific Islander. His dad's like full black. Rocky Johnson's like.
Is his dad black?
See?
Yeah.
I
Rocky
didn't-
Johnson.
okay,
definitely-
see, there you go.
Yeah, he was a famous, he's a famous wrestler. Even if his dad like might have been, he looked black as hell. I don't know. He could have mixed. If you
There
don't
was
say he was mixed,
There was an episode of that 70s show where he played, or they got The Rock, and he played a wrestler from the past in the 70s, and he had like an afro. So
yeah, that was
like,
his dad.
So he was thinking of his dad. Okay, so that was like, okay, so it was like, all right, I see what's happening.
Wait. So can I ask my question now that y'all can semi-hear me without me breaking out?
For now, yeah,
Right.
sure.
Okay, I'm gonna try this then. So how many generations down the line, considering that if all my lineage sleeps with black people, right? We all have black kids. When is it that okay? So wait, your ancestry to Saharan Africa, place of the West Africa, it's too far. You're not.
It didn't want you to.
I tried my best to hear you. I promise I did. I promise I tried.
The worst part
last
is you
part.
came back.
Remember,
that
Oh my
last
God.
bit?
remember, Solus is a
How
recording
many?
artist.
How far down the fucking line, right, of my children having black kids before you say your ancestry far to that African coast, you're no longer black?
They don't want you to say it.
Oh my god!
It's set up right at that
Citizens
point every
are
time.
Arbitrary,
Those
man.
things
I don't
are
think we can make
I
it. You
want-
can't
I
make
want
it
the
solid
audience-
rule. It's all
I
arbitrary.
want the audience to know that Solus is a recording artist, right? And he keeps telling me he uses that mic to record. Nico, this is why you haven't broken out yet. Because no one's hearing your fucking
oh my
vibe.
God. But
I'm sorry.
No, that's not the
sorry.
mic. That's my fucking internet. I'm just saying, how far down the chart before you say, okay, you're not black, right? How many?
good
How
question.
many?
But you
How
said
many
everybody was with you said everybody was with black people. That's the reason. You said all your generations is with black people.
Yeah, so they're still black.
Yeah.
I would say
Even
so.
though no, their ancestry to
Yeah.
Africa is as far as the mixed kid, right? It's literally that far. They're still black.
We're missing the core of it. You said everybody keeps being with black people.
Word. But our
And you-
ancestry is further and further and further and further.
Away from Africa.
But your
Well,
ancestry is, but it's not really not. I mean,
Yes, it is. I'm not African. I'm not from the. I am not from the western coast of Africa.
I see what
My
you're
kids
saying.
won't be. My kids won't be. Their kids won't
I
be. So
kinda
how
get
many?
it.
How further down before like okay, you're not black because your ancestry.
I mean, I guess at some point we're like, okay, I kind of get what you're saying. At some point, I mean, some people already consider black, my name literally considers Black American to be an ethnicity. Like, there's gonna be some point that Black Americans are gonna be separated from Africa, like long enough that we do become like something else. We're
Our
not
own
just gonna
thing.
be like Nigerians. We're gonna be our own thing. Which again, I kind of already feel like we're in that
I
thing.
would say.
So like, we'll still be black.
Based on
Yeah, we
may not
already
be
are. We
African.
already are.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, because of the slave trade and everything. Our genes.
And then
actually
look at the
do
way
get
they treat
kinda-
us. You know, Somalians
Bro,
say, "I'm
and
Somali. I'm
also-
not black." I mean,
Yeah, not only that, but like we're just like racially different at this point. Like we have too much white mixed in us, like collectively as like Americans, as in like American descendants of slavery. Like every one of us, like if you can trace your ancestors back to like North Carolina or some shit, like 200 years ago, you have some white mixed in you, bro.
Yeah, I
Like-
can, and I've got Greek in me, so
You have Greek.
know.
Okay, you don't know
Yeah, so that's
which
Greek in
ancestor
them.
that was, do you?
Heyo.
It's mostly because our last name is very particular, and you can trace it back. But like,
There's
Yeah.
a Greek
I
yogurt joke
can-
somewhere in there. I don't know how to make it.
Oh,
but it's
that's-
somewhere in there.
Yeah, like, bro, if you have like a slave owner's last name, don't out your last name here. But like,
Yeah,
I have a
no,
slave
no,
owner's
no, no,
last
no.
name. I'm part white. I don't know from which parent that comes from either.
But that's not necessarily
it
true.
just-
I'm about to say slaves. Whenever slaves were like free, when they had to pick last names, they either pick presidents or they picked like from the plantation that they came from. It's like one of the Jackson plantations is one of the biggest plantations. That's Jackson and Johnson. I think those are why like you have a lot of black people are Jacksons and Johnsons. Like these are like really large plantations.
Interesting.
Is it Andrew
Yeah,
Jackson?
maybe-
or,
maybe.
like, in that family, or is it just a different Jackson?
I'm not sure. I mean, I would imagine you go back far enough. There probably was that Jackson. Like it goes back to that same.
Andrew
lineage.
Jackson was definitely dipping in his slave pool for show. For show.
Yep.
Dipping in the slave pool is crazy way to word that, but I feel you, my nigga.
He was doing Jefferson
Slave pool
numbers,
wasn't
bro.
very deep.
He was like, I'm
Jefferson
trying to
numbers.
one after Jefferson, bro.
Oh shit.
Yeah, Jefferson. I'm sure. I think Jefferson was a big plantation as well, but I can't remember.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But
Also, can I
yeah,
ask a question real quick to Razor? And well, I fuck Mooncake left. But like this is something I've always thought was the most interesting thing about kids who are mixed, right? How does one take away someone's black card? Because it's something I've seen some mixed
Please,
kids
brother.
say, like in experience. What? Y'all can hear me?
no,
Fuck
you
up.
good.
No, I got
we hear you. We hear you.
No, I'm saying that like how do you do that? Because in my entire life I've never understood like how I break up. Did you hear what I
Just keep
said?
going. Just keep going.
How do you take a person's black card away? All right.
How? Like, cause it seems to be something like in my entire life experience, right? Blackness is that like I would say I like always gang man. Just stand on it, move you. That mean that unless they're gonna like fight you over, even then if you stand on it, you stand on it. So how does that happen, or how do you see it happening?
I have had even members of my family. I'm pretty sure they do it jokingly, I guess. But I've had members of my family do the whole whenever I like got into one of my hyperfixations, one of my long rants where I'm just start going off about something I really love. I've had a family member go, give me a black card. Stop. You're going overboard on that shit. It's like it makes no sense. I've the way that I speak obviously also somehow sets some black people off whenever I speak around them. It's just like you talk like a little white boy. What the what the fuck you doing, bro? Give me your black card. Like what the fuck am I supposed to do? Am I supposed what exactly am I supposed to? How am I supposed to sound for you to tell me for you to not tell me to hand over this pretend black card thing? It does happen, and it's super fucking weird. I still don't understand.
But does it make you?
fully.
I get. What I'm asking you is like, does it ever make you feel less internal identity with it? Does it ever make you feel like you yourself, damn, I'm black because
It has in the past actually made me question like should I even be like again raised by my black family. I would literally know nothing of my white side of my family. Nothing. I know nothing of them. I only know the black side of my family.
it's that Goku
So
shit?
it feels extra weird. So yeah, I get you. It feels
Hello,
extra
monkey.
weird, especially when I have my own family tell me that say that I don't act black. I don't act black. That I don't that I act like a little white boy. Like to hear my own family tell me that who raised me, I'm like, who do you think made me this way?
You know?
Because in my
So-
experience as being like, because in my experience as being a black part of the black experience, etc. Don't do it. I don't think you really know what it is unless you had an argument. Nigga, I just don't think. Huh? I like it out. You can hear me.
You
You
lagged out.
always
that
lag
last-
out.
that
It's
last-
fine.
I'm
I
always
just
lagging
accepted
out. Oh my god. Anyway, all I was saying is that a part of being black is set tripping with other black people, meaning to say it's beefing with other black people. The identity. Can you hear that part?
Yeah, we heard that part. Yeah.
I heard that.
Okay, right. And I was because in my lifetime I've noticed that like a lot of mixed kids speak that specifically for being mixed. But do you notice it with other things? Like not just being mixed, but like do you notice the other things that black people beef with each other over the identity?
Other things black people beef about. Let's
Over
see.
identity, like other than what I've already said, like
Literally
the way
everything,
I speak,
yeah.
my mannerisms,
I've been there.
Specific. I've actually had kids from the schools I went to. They for some unknown reason thought I was Asian, Mexican, Indian. I've been called a lot. I've been like called basically almost every other race except for the two that I am.
I can definitely
Yeah,
see
you use that
Mexican.
because I'm
weirdly
sorry.
enough.
I shouldn't.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
I
I think
think,
we beef about like the types of black, like things within blackness. Like honestly, we beef about things that probably shouldn't be
Most
black
I
to
get.
be back. Like you ain't poor, nigga. I'm poor. Like
You
no,
didn't
I'm
struggle,
poor.
nigga.
I'm from the streets. I ain't got no
Nigga, we
money.
went on free lunch, nigga.
We so broke. I'm about to say, we used to share air. My mama couldn't afford air, nigga. We had to hold our breath when we got home. Like we so poor that we couldn't afford food. My mama used to read
you're
us
right, no,
I open up a cookbook and read us the recipe. My little brother was hard of hearing. He damn near starved.
Okay, no,
Like,
yeah,
I'm
Bam.
good.
No, Bam.
I have a
Like what you're
poverty
saying
law.
is no. No, yeah, Bam. What you're saying is actually true. Also true. That's all. You just reminded me of something else that's fucking said to me. My grandmother did literally everything she possibly could to give me like the best possible. I was basically raised like an only child. Like make sure I was going to a good school, like had a relatively good house and everything like that. She worked her ass off and everything to make sure that I was well taken care of. So I was seen as the sheltered white boy. Like because I was so well taken care of by my black grandmother. I was seen as the sheltered white boy.
By who?
Strangely. I was
By the rest of your black family?
No. By black kids at my school, by black kids from neighboring schools, from Mexican kids, other white kids, strangely enough. I don't know how. I don't know why. Just literally, I was seen as the sheltered boy. I was like, I didn't know shit. And I'll fully admit, I was sheltered. But
Is there anything
Yeah,
that
raised
you
by a
all?
grandparent. Oh yeah, bro.
yes,
Bro, that's a wicked combination, dog. That's a crazy ass combination. It's like raised by grandparent, also super light skin. Oh my god, yeah,
I was
yeah.
raised
You
by
If
were
you
an
was
my
easy
raised by
target.
your grandparents, I don't think you was. Well, I don't know how motherfuckers grew up, but if you was raised by your grandparents,
No,
that
no,
didn't
the
mean you
people
was
that get
sheltered.
raised
What
by the
I'm
just
from.
one,
grandparents.
no, just one grandparent, my
Really?
grandma.
Nah,
That's
that's
my
like
grandma.
a thing.
If you grew up with your
Okay, yeah,
grandparents,
but
folks,
by
that mean
grandparents,
moms
like
and pops wasn't in the picture. I
Yeah,
know
you
you
was
wasn't
raised by
sheltered.
your
Yeah.
They
parents.
were
Yeah.
no, my mom
Mhm.
and dad technically were in the picture.
No,
grandparents
no,
are
no.
like
I'm
more
saying
I was able,
strict
I
than
can
like
call
the
them every, I
parents
can
would
call
be
them
no,
every
no,
sometimes.
no, no,
day.
no. I'm saying how I grew up,
Just
at
in
least in
general.
my life, in my experience. Like if you was raised by your grandparents, that mean mom, pops wasn't in the picture, and grandparents. I mean, like, but I know mad homies of mine. I grew up raised my grandparents for it. Grandparents was I can do whatever the fuck I want. You think my granny wants to chase my little like? Usually, if you raised by your grandparents, you do whatever the fuck.
I'm sure Soul is saying something real right now. I'm
Oh
about
no,
to
I
say,
swear to
that
God.
part
last
of it.
bit,
I
that
knew
last
he
bit I
was
got.
he
No,
was
that
saying
last
that,
bit I
bro.
got.
I got something for Willis. I got it.
That last bit I got.
Okay.
That last
So
bit I got.
I hate
About
this
so
nigga Bam. I hate this nigga
so
Bam so much.
this is great. We're
Time out.
we're gonna back it up.
You gotta get the Yu Yu Hakusho.
I do actually. That's 100% what I got to do. But
Oh,
hey, if you are out there, if you appreciate this content, if you appreciate the service we provide, consider supporting the channel by subbing to the channel, gifting bits or gifting subs, hitting that follow button. I haven't done so yet. Or if you want to ask some on a question before we head out, hit the hype chat or super chat button. Yes. But yeah, do consider helping out this community so we can continue providing you with this quality entertainment. All right. Let's go. We're gonna give outros. Start with my man Razor. Razor, thank you for coming through, being and like showing your experiences. Because I know it's super deeply personal. All the things you've had to go through. But like we really appreciate you sharing that with us.
ain't no problem. I can say I usually say I'm an open book. I'm willing to share whatever someone asks. I'm more than likely, and if I feel like it's too much, I will pull myself back. Obviously, this particular topic, as stated in the beginning, it is somewhat personal, very close to me. Um, at least when it comes to to the black experience that I'm still trying to learn to get even more into after years of being raised by my black family, but somehow still coming out as the white stereotype. Somehow, I don't understand. I still don't understand it. Um, it's it's gonna be it's a life is obviously a journey. I'm still doing everything I can to learn and possibly teach other people how to deal how to deal with things in general. So if you're a mixed race kid out there, a mixed race kid out there who just needs someone who you want to speak to, hey, follow me. Twitter handle right there. Follow me on Twitch here, Razor Sharp Gaming 96. I'm always willing to just have a chat.
Okay. Shout out to you. Let's move on to the next person, who's a confirmed Negro according to the police. Bass, thank you for being here.
It's a description.
Yeah,
That's
that's
all we'll
gotta
say.
happen.
It's the description.
That's
A
gotta
confirmed
happen.
Negro, according to the police.
It is depending how the police treat you. That's the answer if you're black enough. But so I'm Bass FZZ on YouTube. Same YouTube handle, same Twitter handle, same all that good stuff. I enjoy chatting. Actually, I really like you guys, like hanging out, talking about black stuff. Final word on the topic. I mean, I see a lot of what you guys are saying. I think you guys are making some really great points on when you see it, when you talk about the black experience, how it is to be raised and treated as a black person. What does that really mean? How far removed? I mean, I think these are really great questions, but really hard to get a good definitive answer on it too. It's the conversation. We just got to keep talking about it. I think it's so very interesting to me, but it's just so hard to really get some good definitive answers on it, and it just always just makes my brain kind of tingle just thinking about and talking about it. So sorry to say, no really good conclusive final thoughts other than I think you guys made some great points.
We
Definitely
had
some stuff to consider.
racial ASMR for for Bass here apparently.
Racial ASMR. No, I thought it was interesting.
This
man.
nigga Prime has to be stopped. He has to be stopped.
On that note,
I just
I'm
followed you,
gonna
Bass.
bring it in.
Uh,
Oh, thank you, man. But I'm gonna bring it in. You
Oh,
know, it's like
ASMR, gotcha.
11:30 where I'm at.
Can
So.
you drop your link in Prime or in the Discord so I can follow you on YouTube?
I don't know
Sure.
why in my head she said drop some dick. I promise. I was like, that feels out of place.
Lord,
I was like,
that's
I'm
wrong.
gonna
Bass is a handsome guy.
Haram.
She could choose
Haram.
worse. Bass is a handsome guy. All right.
Sausage is haram.
But all right, you guys take it easy. All right.
Peace and love, guys.
Yeah.
Adios, guys.
Let's go to our boy Taj, who, as we learned today, could be a crypto Pakistani person. Flying under the radar. We'll just take his word for it. Look, I can't like put him down to a blood test, so we'll take a word for it. Thank you for being here, Taj.
Yeah.
And we really missed you, buddy.
Of course. Yeah, I miss everybody as well. Follow my channel, Taj Tech Tips. Now, I'm fucking with you. I'm kidding.
You got a new channel.
But no, I was making it tech. All right, that was fucked
I
up. But
got you.
all right, so yeah. So I appreciate you guys having me on here. Just to shamelessly plug myself, Taji Politics on YouTube. I just dropped my interview with Marianne Williamson. That's actually pretty cool. She's a really nice guest to have. I had to sneak onto a town hall, and it was just like a little small back and forth. It's a short video; it's like 30 minutes long. But she's really cool, though. She's really cool. And yeah, like I'm back in 2024. I'm hoping. I said that at the very end of 2022. I said that. Then I went on a hiatus. So hopefully I don't do another hiatus.
You mean hiatus? Is that what you're trying to tell us?
Hiatus. Hopefully I don't do another hiatus, and I'm actually like back around kicking it. You know what I mean? For all the homies of all skin tones and everything like that. Nah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, for the new ones, Taj.
Yeah.
Taj was a good
Could you
guest
also
back
drop
in the
your
day.
link too?
Yeah. Let me find the link.
Yeah,
and I'll
either
drop it in there.
drop a link to your social media either in the Discord or on Primes. It's fine.
Yeah, so everyone else here can see it too.
Just for those who don't
I'll
know,
put it in the Discord.
Taj was a great
That's
guest of ours previously. We've always missed him. He has great things to say, right? 10 seconds after you ask him,
Yeah.
he's got great things to say.
We got a legendary gap.
Let's go to our friend DQ. DQ, thank you for jumping in. It was really great having you, as always.
Thank you so much for having me. You know, I love to be here with all my fine black men and my lovely black women. I appreciate and
Prime.
love each and every one of you. You know, Prime got the jokes today for everybody, so you know he could have just been like, "And you know, your Majesty," because you got jokes for Taj, you got jokes for Baz, but you know, I'm sure you got
I ain't
jokes for
trying. I ain't trying to get me chewed right
you
now.
know,
Okay, look.
you know,
So I'm like,
I
thank
know
you very much,
I
ma'am.
know you.
I appreciate your
I know
services.
you got jokes for Bam. Okay, it's coming up. I bet you, nigga, it's coming up. But yeah, anybody can come follow me. I'm the Debate Queen on all social media channels. I drop my link to Twitch. I do Islam on Fridays. I talk about that. I haven't been doing it in a couple weeks, but I got a lot of jam-packed videos tomorrow. If you want to come learn with me, because I don't also know stuff, and I'm sure other people don't know stuff. But it should be fun and entertaining. So yeah, come follow me, yo. Come support my channel.
Thank you. Next, we have a friend, Solus, right? A special type of Negro, a Dominican type of Negro, meaning not a Negro at all. We heard you. But Solus.
Here Prime goes.
Solus. Thank you. He's not going to meet to me. Solus, thank you for.
No, that's fine. I've lived. I get it worse from other dimensions. But last word on the topic, I like to say, I am black as fuck. I consider myself blacker than most black people. Like, when I say black, I mean, like, I've been working in a soul food kitchen in my family's own years since my grandma was a seamstress that made suits and shit for people like Malcolm X and Muhammad Ali. I remember childhood stories too much. Shut the. My family were Black Panthers. Like I went to the same fucking high school that Emmett Till's mom. I'm Black as hell, and I still don't walk around super invested into this identity in a way because I do think that people sometimes we get into Black people, we do this G-checking shit about this shit. We get too caught up in this identity in a very negative, toxic way. And I just say all this to say, as a nigga who's blacker than most people, don't engage with this identity in a negative way, and don't ever let nobody G-check you about your. It's weird and cringe. If you're black, you're black. If you know, you probably know. Just want to say
that. Thank you for that, Solus. And like Solus, like his words are so powerful, you only ever need 2/3 of them. Right? And they still affect you.
Well, I'm gonna fuck Prime up, I swear to God, dog.
I deserve it. No, it's good. Sometimes you gotta catch an ass over. No, it's fair. No, it's fair. And Solus is a great recording artist. So like hit him up, right? And Solus at PG, all his socials, right?
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, bro.
Absolutely. That's what got Bam. Bam feeling a little lonely in Atlanta, right? Ask him for Black people to move down there. He can't find the love of his life, right? Can't find Black women in Atlanta. So if you could, right? If you're out there in the Northeast, in the West, right? And you're melanated because you don't like white women, move down to Atlanta.
Yo.
Yeah, honestly, I'm from this conversation, I'm inspired. I actually think today may be my last day on ABE, because I'm taking my talents and moving to Korea. I now identify as a Korean man. Because according to so, who gonna check me? Who gonna check me? I'm going to Korea.
Wait, before you go, no. Before you go, that's not fair. You're not a free agent. Are you not? You've not fulfilled your obligation. So we need to put draft picks, some prospects, a good package, and then we'll send you over there. We can make this happen. All right. I can make some calls, my nigga.
I'm sure it's a good Korean nigga out there that could we can make that trade. I'll do some research. Yeah, but no. Yeah. Until then, I guess I'm stuck being Black for another day. Dang, give us a little bit more time. But you know what? I'm gonna enjoy it while it lasts. I love y'all. I love being here every Thursday. If I can, like I said, this is literally like I make this like a priority, a part of my day. Like regardless of whatever else is going on, I typically try to like shape things around being on Thursday. Sometimes it doesn't happen, but like typically I do. So yeah, thanks Prime for always offering the platform for the conversation, because yeah, this is one of my bright spots of my week.
I say this
wouldn't be the same without you, man.
Yeah,
absolutely, certainly. But I say this often, you know, like that means a lot from you guys. That like this is a platform that you guys find valuable, that you guys like shape your week around this to make sure that you're here, being part of this. That actually means a whole lot to me, and it's one of the reasons why I try my best to keep this going. Then we can have these conversations. Maybe one day we'll blow up. And right. And this,
we honestly, we're the crazy part is we're not toxic
enough.
As toxic as we are, if we were just a little more toxic, that would hit us. We would hit stardom. Like we got to engage in we got to call women bitches more. That's the start. We do that.
We're on a good track record too.
No, I got it. I'll turn up the toxicity next time. I got you, bro. I got you.
Turn it up. Bro, where's Mr. Pace at?
Pace. Oh yeah. We gotta get Pace. Pace can only
bring that man back.
Yeah. But Pace can only be here so often.
He was only here so long.
Yeah, but he's still around. He's still around. But anyway,
okay. We need some more Uncle Ruckus ass niggas here, bro. That's what we need.
Oh fuck! All right. Thank you all, and we will. Yeah, I'm gonna keep doing this. Hopefully, one day, we blow up, and we got a bunch of people can see, like all the talent we have. We got like a lot of talent here, a lot of talented Black individuals doing great things, blowing it up. Right, we got Solus, we got Bam, doing some insurance. It's great. All right, you know what?
Don't make it sound lame. You didn't have to call me after the rapper.
Rap it, nigga. Rap.
Doing insurance or something. I don't know. The nigga's here. I don't know what the nigga does. Like I do my best. That's what I do. I do my damn best.
That's great. That was great. It's great. He's a respectable individual. Taj is in politics or somehow adjacent, right? He's doing somehow. The GSU is big in tech. Dream, big in politics as well. I do want to know Dream. And we got everyone, right? Like who's up and running. Like, and if you're not where you're at yet, we're here to support you to get to that place. I don't know what you do, DQ. I have no clue. But
Muslim. That's what she does. She praises God.
I'm Muslim. I talk about politics. I talk
Okay.
about a little bit of everything. So you know.
And Razor
Okay.
works for the system. He works for Coca-Cola. He's a Coca-Cola man.
Amen.
For now.
Okay.
Unionized. Let's go.
Sure.
You need to give me the hookup on some Powerade.
Yeah.
I might have to reach out to you about that.
Who
Give me the Powerade Zero
is
hookup.
DQ? Are you
That's
streaming?
PepsiCo. That's not Coca-Cola Co.
DQ, are you
That's
streaming?
Oh, it is.
PepsiCo.
Powerade's
yeah.
Coca-Cola.
Powerade is Coke.
I know my
Powerade is
drinks. I know my beverages.
I thought
Gatorade is
Gatorade is.
Gatorade is
You said
Pepsi.
Gatorade.
Powerade. No, he said Powerade.
Do you think that people would consider you black if you drunk Pepsi instead of Coke?
I like Pepsi more personally. I'm not a big
I
soda
have
person,
been-
but Pepsi's sweeter.